Hello and welcome. Welcome to Roller Winter Monday. It's 12:30 p.m. approximately Eastern Time here in beautiful Lafayette, Indiana, world headquarters, where it's kind of humid today. I hope your air conditioning is working. Hey, did you know I've had a DOT Pete Buttigieg? He says I-40 bridge is important. Oh, yeah. I'm glad we've got him running stuff like that. You know that bridge? Oh, yeah, we got information about that, too. Are unions crap? I found a reason to say, hey, you know what? They might be crap. I might be wrong. It's possible. Navistar had an IT attack, and they got through and got some information. Think about this, because Navistar is a big investor in some of these self-driving trucks. Consider that. There's a Bruce Lee wannabe out there, yes. And I have some stocks fueling Dogecoin, of course, as always. So let's see what's happening out there today. Let's see, we had... where am I here? Okay, so I had Eddie McFadden first today, and followed closely by Misty. Hello. It's good to see you today. And let's see if I can get this over here. Oh, Keltarusu Travels is here today. Trucker Hershey is at a scrapyard. Yikes. Yeah, you're right. Hope you don't get a flat. Those places are disasters of metal and other problems, as we know. Joan Harper, hello. Gear Jammer's here from his recliner, or her recliner, in Chickasha, Oklahoma. All right, that's awesome. Daycab Gear Jammer, good morning. Kelly, looks like you're going to have some truck problems. So, wow, Bill is here. It's good to see you today on a Monday. Kevin, did we miss you? Oh, we always miss you. George Wilson is here today, and let's see, William Huglet is here. It is Weiner time. It's good to see you, Chicken Hauler. What's going on out there? Got some heated up chickens driving around today. Paul Harris just stopped for a quick snack at Taco John's. He was 23 in Ohio, heading to Richmond for delivery tonight. You know, that was the worst thing. I was hated like nighttime deliveries, 7, 8 o'clock at night. Okay, you're unloaded at 10. Now what? You got to pick up in the morning. Where are you supposed to park? Paul Harris, listening to while driving, no video. YouTube Premium. Oh, nice. Worth the money to listen to Trucking Answers and Cash is King Trucking. Well, I appreciate that. And Cash probably does as well. Yeah, YouTube Premium, you all should look into that. That's good. No commercials on that either. There's never commercials on the live show here. No Mad Trucker, what's happening? Luke, 1, 2, 3, 4. Lots of bad four-wheeler drivers as usual. Stop. 3 lengths ahead on the line. Yeah, you know, that was always a problem in Chicago. And what do? Make them back up. Make those suckers back up. Adam Wayne is here. It's Weiner time. Eric S., what's going on? And let's see, I lost my spot as I usually do. Because there we go. Canadian Tanker Yanker Lomar got paid a day off to get my vaccine. That's awesome. They give us $100, but not a paid day off. So you got to go figure out how to get it yourself. But then you can put in for $100 after you get either the one shot or both shots. So you know, they're considering making it mandatory, although they haven't done that yet. Alex, the OTR driver, waiting at the doctor to check me out after a slip and fall at your apartment complex pool. You mean at work? You mean at work? Slipped on a surface that I didn't expect to be slippery, and there were no warning signs. Everybody living in Indiana is thinking the same thing. I'm Ken Nunn, and I already have your accident report. Or call the hammer. That's what we're all thinking. Hey, I hope that works out, you know, and there's no nothing serious. A little slip and fall can be very serious. So, not to belittle that, certainly, but call Ken Nunn. I figure this is a good place for confession. As always, we hear confessions here. My Diet Dr. Pepper addiction is starting to get out of hand. Thank you for your thoughts and prayers. You know, Dr. Pepper, it's pretty good. Happy Roller Wiener Monday, Doug Thompson. Maybe I'll get a pepper today. Unloading 30,000 pounds of hemp in Colorado, Nomad Trucker, then to Texas. What are they going to make out of this? They're going to make the little, things at brownies, or are they going to make rope out of it? Opie Knievel. Good afternoon, Mark. How's the day going? Going great, as always here. Happy to wake up every day, and that is the truth. Happy Rolling Winter Monday, everyone. Keltarusu Travels. Just got my AC fixed on the new Kenworth. Good. It's warranty, Jason. Yeah. For you especially, right? How much would that have been? I always love seeing these warranty repairs. You know, the engine on the Escape was over $7,000. That was covered under warranty. So how much is warranty to fix air conditioning on a Kenworth? Eric Brown, can you do a review report on West Side Transport out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa? West Side. I'm stuck at Tate and Lyle on the Lafayette Flint Highway. Tate and Lyle. Where is Tate and Lyle? Aren't they up 52 Is that the, I've lived here 20 years. I can't think of where it is. Where is it? Okay, where's St. Lyle? Nothing like mowing in the rain. Yeah, why would you be out mowing in the rain? Yikes. Let that grass grow. John Staniszewski, happy Rolling Arena Monday. Michael Muller, what's up, Mark? Starting a new division at Smith in July, 1,800 gross a week, but no more detention or layover. Can't refuse loads. Are you going to do it? So basically salary pay, right? 1,800 a week. You take the loads as long as you have the hours. Is it presumably the hour? But that's just the thing of it. Really, you're not supposed to be able to refuse loads anyway, right? On forced dispatch, so it's not any worse than forced dispatch. I guess this way they could make you do it or whatever. Yeah, $1,800. You don't worry about anything. Straight salary. What do you think? Chicken Hall. We had Teamsters, but it's only 8 drivers, so no real power. It's crap. Well, you know what? There's this Teamster job in Louisville. Okay, so this is why I say this. It's Teamsters Local 89. I might do a whole video about it. So they're home on weekends, 57 cents a mile, $22 an hour after 2 hours. Now, they do get $50 a stop. But I'll tell you, and it's $13 a week for, dues, which includes insurance generally. 57 cents and 20. Why is there after 2 hours at a union place? What kind of garbage union authority is that at Teamster 89 there where they're having drivers sit around and not get paid anything? What is the point I can make more than this. And I barely make anything. 57 cents and 22 an hour after 2 hours is not great at a place that says we're union. And I would love this. I looked at their site, Teamster 89. Their motto, a tough union for tough times. Really? I wouldn't let anybody come to work if I was in charge of a union until they were paid for all of their time, period. Okay? So you need to be paid for your time. And so to say, and they represent UPS and a number of places in the Louisville area. They're not just this one place. So 22 an hour after 2 hours, that's no good. It's 2 hours of non-paid time at a union job? Forget it. Luke, I had a person try to pass me on the right while making a right turn. Oh, yeah, I love that. You always got to protect that right. Stick to that curb if possible. But I hear you, right. $100 to get the pokey poke is better than nothing. Was going to get yours ain't. Anyway, Canadian Tanker. Yeah, $100 is better than nothing. I'll give you that, right. You do have to figure it out yourself. But I will tell you here, CVS, I looked again this weekend. You can get an appointment an hour after you get on the site at 7 days a week. So really, if people that want it, at least in this town, there's no excuse not to have it if it's something that you want to get. So people can't say anymore, oh, I'd love to get it, but I don't have time. There's a way to get it. Dwight here, HRWM, raining in Seattle. All right. What's new about that, though? Finally, baseball season. All right. Would you do a lease purchase with U.S. Express? I wouldn't do a lease purchase with anybody. Hey, everyone, I just missed the orthopedics knife. Yay, that's good. Mike, now get out of there before that guy catches you. All right, my county governor computers got hacked. Trucking school funding put on hold. Ah, great. After meet this week, what's next? Anybody for work for Giltner? Oh, I haven't heard of Giltner in a while. Chicken Hauler, not only is it crap, but you have to be okay with your dues money going to political campaigns. Yeah, well, here's the thing. A lot of stuff that you do in life goes to political campaigns. You buy something at a store, that store is a member of something that goes to political campaigns. So to eliminate all that, it's impossible. And $13 a week is a bargain. Would you rather pay, I pay $75 a week about just for medical. So $13 a week, which would include medical, say 6 of that goes to a political campaign. Would you rather do the 75 and get your medical that way? That's the thing of it. You go to a store, you go to a gas station, they contribute to political campaigns. You go anywhere you go, everything is political. So it's really tough to get out of that. Really tough. And what you could do to offset it is give a little money to the side that you think that they're not giving money to. So, Alex, I dropped off my load early, started feeling it when I was hand unloading the trailer. Ugh. Tate & Lyle, Decatur, Illinois. Well, there's a Tate & Lyle here. There's a Tate & Lyle in Lafayette. Don't want fleas and ticks on my only dog, Joan Harper. I heard, this is what I've heard now, as soon as you step out into a grassy area, you are completely covered with the fleas and ticks this year. That really. So they're apparently everywhere. When people are not eating cicadas, maybe they should eat these ticks. Jason, about 2,000 to fix the AC if I had to pay for it. Oh, compressor came apart, had to take a belt off to get it home. Oh. That would hurt, right? That's why warranty is so important. $2,000 out of your pocket. Michael Muller, the regular vision is no forced dispatch. Really? Really? I wonder how they do that. There could be loads that they can't get anybody to take. All right, but that's fair. All right, so 1,800 though. You know what? That's 90 grand, right? So I was going to figure that out, but I don't have to. It's 90 grand. And no worries. How often do you get home then? What's the story on the home time? Keltruster Travels, thank you very much. Goodness. Help your host finances stripper glitter at the manhole. Well, you got to keep that stuff on the lowdown. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. Who works here for T-Force Freight? T-Force. I know I see this constantly, but the Teamsters ain't what they used to be. Day cab, gear jammer. I don't understand. Look, I'll tell you this. On any union job, I couldn't believe this, and this is an ad they're running. It's right now on Craigslist, where they're saying $22 an hour after 2 hours. So they're letting a Teamster union driver sit, not be paid. I get paid for my time. So I would sit there and get paid, and some Teamster's going to sit next to me and not get paid? That's crazy. There's no way I would allow that running a union. No way. And they elect their people that, negotiate for them. So it's just ridiculous. Hello from North Carolina, Bill. Hello. Saw 52 before Skylar. That's what I thought. Right. It's up there. Bring me a steak sandwich and some coffee. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so it's up around the bend there. Yes. The Petro and Rafine was giving all 3 vaccines. Don't remember the dates. There have been a number of them now. I did see, I think you're talking about Whites right up there. The old Whites, whatever. There's some truck stops now where you can get the vaccine shots, so that's really good. Who the heck is eating cicadas? Canadian Tanky Anchor. Well, I'll tell you what. Enough people where the FDA came out and asked people to not eat cicadas. Because apparently, which I didn't know because I'm not a bug expert, if you have a shellfish allergy, which, as I found out from reading this very informative article, 90% of the food allergies are shellfish. So if you have a shellfish allergy, you're also allergic to cicadas. And they've had people apparently visiting hospitals and other things from eating these things. So I haven't seen any here. I don't know if we're going to get them here, but apparently if you see one, don't eat it. Look, you wonder why we're not on Mars? They have to put out press releases to tell people not to go out and eat bugs that are flying around. So I don't know what to say. Stan Dodge, it's RWNR Monday. Getting live loaded in Pendergrass, Georgia. Grafton, hello. George Wilson, okay, fellow Comancheros here. We go like Mark says, go for the best. You're tired of Megacare abuse. I got a hot tip for you. Hold on, stand by, bear with me. All right, I'm waiting for it. Get home every 2 weeks, 48 hours, just like now. Okay, so it's the same thing. 2 days after 2 weeks, so a day a week. That's common. So 90 grand. That's pretty good money, 90,000. I will tell you, CRST just came out of the pay raise this week, which I couldn't believe. CJ Hudson, the UPS Freight, finally got the names on the door changed, wearing normal outfits now, not the brown uniform, but they're honoring the union deal until 2023. Okay, yeah, so UPS Freight. Good, so those, I was wondering whether the drivers would lose any pay or not, so I'm glad they're not. Then they'll have to do something. I'm looking forward to the quirky Hyundai Santa Cruz. Really? What about a Ford Maverick? So what's with the 950-mile electric driverless truck? Stan Dodge. Well, that truck drove. There are people in the truck. Let's put it that way right now. It drove itself 950 miles, and so it didn't need to stop. It doesn't need to do anything. That's correct. So it will eventually take somebody's job. That is correct. It will. Yep, they drove, I think it was, a load of watermelons? Although, I don't know why they mentioned it, but I think that was in there. Yeah, from Nogales, somewhere around Nogales, all the way to Oklahoma City. Any thoughts about Sisu Energy? No. I don't know what that is. Maybe Teamster 89 is run by a former ATA executive. Jason, I don't know. Can you understand it? Does anybody understand a union job negotiating a rate, a contract where the drivers are not being paid? I don't get it. Okay, those people should all be voted out, and you vote somebody in who's at least going to stand up for you. That's the point of having a union. If you're just going to get 57 cents and paid after 2 hours, that's anybody can go get that. All right? Anybody can get that. What do you need them for? Chicken Hall, ours is $35 a month. I use TRICARE, but if you get the Tyson insurance, it's family. It's $50, 20 individual. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. $35 a month is also good. Here, $13 a week is also not bad. It's not bad insurance, cost for that. But I'll just tell you, that's the only deal there. You're still getting a bunch of unpaid time, and 57 cents is no great shakes for a union company. Really, anymore. Any experienced driver can make a couple phone calls and get that, no problem, and more. Cicadas are zombies. Is that why people are getting sick from eating them. Had a bunch of this splatting on my windshield on Saturday. Where is that going on? I haven't seen any here, not even one. Michael Muller, it's $93,000 a year. I was just doing rough math in my head here. Give me a break. I drove a truck. I was glad I got close. 2 hours for free. Vote in a new union. I've never heard of that from a union. Kevin. I agree. That's the ad. Hey, we're Teamster 89, 13 a week, and 22 an hour after 2 hours. I'm like, what kind of union job is that? Boot all those people out of there. Also, if I get stuck in snow, I still get paid, Michael. Yes, that's the good thing about the 1800. If your air conditioning goes out and you have to have a new compressor put on, it gets paid. If your truck has a cracked block, you'll get paid. All those things you'll get paid. So although people think, oh, I'm not going to make quite as much money, the things you don't realize is that's a steady check. Also, every week you'll exactly have the same amount of money in your account. So you know, okay, I'm going to pay, paid. So exactly. I like it. I love salary for stuff like that. I got at least 30 cicadas on my front end of my truck today alone. Dropped at the wash before going to the clinic. Alex. All right, where are they all happening? Kelterusa Travels. Those bugs are practically all exoskeleton. Nothing but roughage. Only kids ought to eat bugs, and that's on a dare. Yeah. Well, there's enough people eating them where the FDA had to put out a press release about it. And hospitals are seeing people come in. And it turns out because they're allergic to shellfish, they're also allergic to these things. I just purchased a yellow watermelon on the inside. Marty, where's that going on? Who has a yellow watermelon? Are you sure you don't have a honeydew melon? And you think, oh, the guy's selling, these are just midget watermelons. I think anyone that takes a jab will regretting it within the next few years. Chris, we'll find out. The wife already got hers, so we'll see how that goes. There'll be those commercials, as they say in all these memes. If you've had the shot, call us. The UPS guy I talked to us said ain't nothing changed nor will until that contract ends. Good. That was the thought. Oh, what's going to happen? But I think they have to honor that contract, so I'm glad they're going to. Driverless trucks also includes a refillable gallon jug. Yeah, for old time's sake, they're going to put a bunch of Gatorade bottles in them. A company called Rossi General Contractors in North Lake, Illinois, is looking for lowboy and dump drivers, union gig Teamsters, local 150 of operating engineers. At least, will they get paid for their time? A place like Rossi General Contractor sounds like you get paid for your time, honestly. Nomad Trucker, Google reviews. Sisu is only, is that the $14,000? Got it now. Got it. I actually did a video about that. And no one's grossing $14,000. It's all hype. Yeah, the news caught on to that like no problem. And total fabrication, right? You got to have your own equipment. You got to have a trailer too to go up there. So how often do you pull a reefer? Me, never. Ralph, good morning, everyone. I work out of a satellite non-union yard, but our main yard is union, and they gave us all the same pay, pension, so we actually make out better than the union guys in this case. That's even better. You don't have to deal with it, and you get the better. Make the Teamsters great again. Where's Jimmy Hoffa when you need him? Uncle D's production. I can't imagine him ever signing a contract where drivers work without being paid anything. It's embarrassing to even see that on a union ad. Silver, I pay $12 a week and $400 deductible for insurance. Yeah, that's always the thing. It's really good insurance, and it's so inexpensive. But you're not getting, that's all the benefit you're really getting. When you're getting 57 cents, which isn't any great deal anymore, and 2 hours of unpaid time before you get detention, there's really no benefit other than the low-cost insurance, really, right? Maybe a pension. Maybe your pension. I think all four-wheeler drivers need to ride with a trucker for a week, and maybe they will chill out. Luke, I think all dispatchers need to ride with a driver for a week. And I always say it should be the driver at the company that has the most problems. They'll put them, if they even do it at all, they put it with a driver who loves their job and is brown-nosing everybody. Go get the driver that has constant issues. There just aren't any driver jobs in Florida, the guy in the news. Yeah, that story. That guy, boy, I wish I could just find a driver job. I haven't worked since last year. There just aren't any around. He should call the union up. Maybe they have a job from there. Would you know which company pays well if you have the hazmat endorsement? I would say a lot of them pay well, but I would also encourage you to not do hazmat loads unless they pay you extra for getting the endorsement. Melton gave us a nickel raise today. Well, it was announced last week, but I think it goes into effect today. That's a nice jump. George Costanza. Melton, I have here, which they did a little announcement. Yeah, students start at least 47 cents, and now their pay goes up to 63 cents a mile. You can get 63 cents a mile, plus this huge TARP pay and stuff. Yeah, Melton really jumped their pay up there. And that nickel, I'm sure you'll appreciate that. Jason, every driver should read their company's rules, the tariff, to see exactly what they get paid and might see how much they're cheating you. You'd be amazed at how much they cheat you. It may put you into a deep depression to see how much they get and then how much you get. Melton has always been on top of driver pay. Nomad Trucker, they're doing very good over there. There are yellow watermelons and square watermelons. How do you get a square watermelon? Does it just grow square? So watermelons can figure out geometry now? 90% of the work is at O'Hare Airport. Oh, right. Rossi's at 201 was Lake Street in North Lake. Is that near the, we have to go underneath the railroad tracks? The L goes above you. Lobsters are bugs. Bugs are not kosher. That is true, John. Bugs, things with exoskeletons are not kosher, and I assume cicadas are not either. I'll have to check with my rabbi about it, but I don't think you're allowed to eat them if you're looking for kosher food. Michael, if the truck is in the shop, got to be willing to hop in a loaner, and idle can't be more than 10%. Got to meet 85% fuel compliance. All right. Do you have an APU? So if you have an APU, that shouldn't be any issue. And fuel compliance, you should probably follow their fuel routing. So absolutely. I mean, look, if they want to put rules and say 1,800, you got to do these things, then people have to make a decision. I missed that show. The owner seemed kind of shady. Yeah. Cruise lines are easing up requirements for the vaccines. Otherwise, they won't get people on board. All aboard. North Lake has Italian beef. That's right. If you wear it, make it a parrot. Always. Am I still? And who else? That's what I wanted to talk about too. Fuel. Millis. Okay, so an astute viewer sent me a photo of something that Millis sent out, and I emailed them. All right, so I'm waiting for a response today. I'm giving them also through today because I emailed them late on Friday. Let's see where to go. Okay, so their fuel bonus, you can get a reduction in your bonus based on how much idle time you have. And he said they don't have an APU. That's why I'm asking about this place here. 30%. All right, that's 7.5 hours a day out of 24 hours that you get to idle. Over that, and you get a reduction in the bonus. And I don't think that's right. And to start that in the summertime, if they don't want to give you an APU, they got to let you run the truck. So I've recommended Millis to many people. That will end if I don't hear back from them. Hey, Mark from Owatonna today. Andrew, all right. What's going on wherever the heck that is? I'll tell you, Mike, come on. Who do I drive for? Well, it's a good thing that people don't ask this that often. I do this show every week, but people that don't know, at 12:30 p.m., and I don't ever mention who I work for, and that keeps them out of my videos. That's the real problem of saying you can't say that or whatever. And I also don't recruit for them, although a lot of people do. Look, if you like your company, go ahead and recruit for them. I just don't do it. I'm keeping it all on the down low, and I think that just works out better. Canadian Tanker Yanker. Goodness, thank you very much. Heard Gracie called Pete on you because you haven't fed her in 25 minutes. Here's $10 towards your legal fees. I appreciate that very much. Yeah, and she will too. She'll come and bite my ankles when I walk by, which is crazy. I feed her and then she bites me. I don't understand it. I just don't get it. Hard too. She has sharp teeth, which she's going to get cleaned here in a few weeks. She's not going to like that. So that's a full day at the vet. Let's see, where did I go up to for that? That's true. That is a true story, by the way. You have to grow it in a square box. Really? So you grow a watermelon in a square box? Creature 937, hey, what's happening? Who needs a square watermelon? I don't understand why we're doing that. Can't they just grow like they normally grow? I guess you can slice it easier. Helio Castronovas, Roger Penske, joins Elite Company along with AJ Foyt, Al Unser, and Rick Mears, 4-time Indy winners. Oh, all right. That's pretty awesome. Open wheel racing. Did I hear you correctly when you said that 57 cents is low, George Costanza? My pay is 56 cents at Melton. I think that's more than fair for having a little over 2 years' experience. Well, what I'm saying is that I said it's no great shakes. And if it's a union company, where you're only getting, look, they're basically getting what you're getting, right? So I don't think that's any big deal to the union company. The deal was that you're going to make decent money, decent money. And to get what everybody else gets, what's the point of having a union company? 2 hours of detention without pay, 57 cents. I don't think that's great to get started at a union place. There's no benefit. They're not getting any kind of benefit out of their union at all. The benefit is they should make more money. All right, George Wilson, here's Rossi's phone number. All right. The same people eating the bugs are probably the same people eating Tide Pods. Follow your bug with a Tide Pod chaser. And they also have hair buns. Au contraire, bugs are kosher. John the Baptist ate locusts. Roger Penske. Was John the Baptist kosher? I would actually have to look it up. I don't know all the kosher rules. I'd have to get to Leviticus, which I don't have here in front of me, but it's possible. I don't know. That's why I say I would have to go and talk to my rabbi about that, Adam Wayne. Have you ever dealt with a night system for bunk AC? No. Michael Muller has an APU. All right, so you have an APU, so it shouldn't be any problem meeting 10%, right? Every time you get out of the truck, it ought to turn off. It's going to be hot in Oklahoma, 96 by Wednesday with 70% humidity. I'd say forget the fuel bonus. Well, the thing is, they're also, once they go through your fuel bonus, Jason at Millis, okay, and so they take that away and you're still over 30%, they're going to start reducing your truck 2 miles an hour for every percent you're over as well, as low as 55 miles an hour max. So the problem is you can get your truck going 55 miles an hour. Now, you might be cool in there, but you're not going to get anywhere. That's the problem. Also, they're going to reduce the speed of the truck. That's a good way to get rid of drivers, by the way. 55. Is Old Dominion union? No, they are not. That's why they do not pay overtime. I think it's 55 hours here. Keep your fuel most. I'm going to be comfy the truck or put an APU on it. I don't know why they don't put APUs on the trucks. They can't gripe about idle time and then they not give you a way to stay cool. So they're going to sit you somewhere, which happens, right? And then you run the truck. Oh, you're losing money to run the truck? No way. No APU. I crank my truck in June and shut it off in September. We crank them up here in December and turn them off in March. Alexandra, hello. Good morning, market fellow drivers. Hello there. Hey, good afternoon, GP Transco. It's good to see you here. Michael, square watermelons are easily stacked. Well, how many could you stack? Don't they crush each other? I mean, is this really necessary? We have to grow a watermelon in a box? It seems ridiculous, to be honest with you. One of Rossi's site foremen live in my subdivision. He said equipment is in good shape, older, no power steering, and no air. But you're local. You're probably working outside anyways at that place if you're over by O'Hare all the time. Chef Matt, hi everyone. Sorry I'm a little late and I've missed on so many online meetings. I was refueling my Harley this morning. How long did that take? Not too long. And today gas here was $3.08. I paid $3.73 yesterday to fill up the Escape. So for premium. Fish must have fins and scales. That's why shellfish aren't kosher, Roger Penske. All right, so there's the Jewish lesson for today. So what about cicadas, since we're on that? I'd run 55 on hourly pay. Jason, yeah, on hourly. Millis, it's mileage, and that's the problem. So they slow you down, you get less miles, and you won't be able to do as much work. I think the only reason they would do that, of course, is to get rid of people. They know turning a truck to 55, who's going to stay for that? Nobody. You're reducing their pay and turning the truck down. Nobody stays. It's a stupid policy. I don't know who thought of it. I did email them, though. I want to hear from them. Before I call them out stupid in person. Some highways you can get an impeding traffic ticket for going 55 into 70. Well, every prime truck must get those. Yeah, Sammy said I can't drive 55. Exactly. He also had to put his seat back, too. They grow them in Japan as ornaments. They cost $100. Who has a watermelon as an ornament? And don't tell me they're sold in all those vending machines they have in there. Do they have watermelon vending machines? John the Baptist was Jesus' cousin. What's up, cuz? Their mothers are sisters. They are, of course, Old Testament Jews. Of course. Well, of course. Cutting fuel bonus during time companies are trying to raise pay to get drivers is nuts. Good luck on that. Kelter Rooster Travels. Look, what they're doing, I think they're just getting rid of people that are, they don't like or whatever, and that's an easy way to do it. There's no way you should go to a place that won't let you run the truck and not give you an APU. No way. So if this turns out to be some kind of accurate, where they're actually doing this, I'm out. Right? I'm out. No way would I want to go there or send anybody there. I watched a documentary on them once. Some sell in the thousands. But this is the watermelons? Really? How do you sell a watermelon for $1,000? Were you in the wrong business? I got to go to work all night tonight for $38 for the whole night, and somebody's selling a watermelon for $1,000? That's ridiculous. Fleet Nav Systems is here. Hello. Hey, is it cooler up there by the lake? Canadian tank yanker. If Jesus was from the Middle East, why does he have a Puerto Rican name? Well, I didn't name him. Chef Matt, traffic was a little heavy, and I'm still getting used to the current time zone now in Idaho. Yeah, you cross time zones, and you got to call or call the company when you see a 10 a.m. delivery. Is that 10 a.m. local? Some companies are good about it. Is it 10 a.m. a different time? Is it local time? We don't know. Trucker Hershey, what a cluster. They let too many cars and trucks in to dump and then nobody could move. It's brilliant. Right. Chris Keller, well, how's it going? Hey, it's doing great. A little humid. Typically, after I park, I let my truck idle about an hour. Then I turn on my night system that can usually go 7 hours. Luke, is that some kind of battery system then? And even so, with a battery system, if you have to sit 34 hours, they need to let you run the truck enough to keep the batteries charged or whatever it is. They shouldn't be on this idle thing, okay? It's just, they should have to turn the office air conditioning off at their headquarters there. Oh, okay, so at 30% of the time, they can only run the air 30% of the time there. The rest of the time, it's off. First 30% of the day, and see how that goes. See what everybody that works in the office thinks about that. It's just ridiculous. Channeling your speed because of the idle time and not giving you APU. They're just playing games and drivers allow it. Yeah, I don't know why drivers would allow it. First time they lose pay because I want to try to stay cool, they're asking you to either lose pay or not be safe because you can't. Look, Houston. You're going to turn your truck off in Houston. In 5 minutes, you're a sweat disaster in the truck. It has to run something. APU or the truck have to run all night. It can't on and off you. And so they're saying, well, look, we don't care if you're safe. We just want to save a couple of dollars of fuel. And the rates now are high. It doesn't make any sense. Afternoon, Mark Pigpen. Last week I saw a Prime truck going down the road with their bike attached to the front of the truck. Is that legal? I think so, because the bus system here has a bike rack on the front of the truck. So, yeah, I don't see why not. As long as it doesn't block the lights or the plate, I think it is legal. And they come down in the bus here. You can get on the bus with your bike. You pull the bike rack down, put your bike in it, and get in the bus. I say yeah. I don't know why you didn't put it in the back, because in the front it's going to cost you fuel mileage. Just remember, Millis is owned by Heartless Express. Jason, I thought of that too. When I heard that, I go, oh, that's a Heartland idea coming over to Millis. They said they wouldn't change anything. Well, they're not changing the pay per se, but they're doing little things like this to tweak you. Yeah. Andrew says John the Baptist was beheaded. That's a problem. I need that like I need a hole in the head. Alexandra, how do we get on the topic of square watermelons? Somebody brought up that there's square watermelons, and I'm amazed that people would take the time to grow fruit inside of a box like it's some kind of deal. Cooler by the lake, but still human. Well, that's good. At least you're not getting any lake effect snow at this time. You don't have to melt the sidewalks. Columbia, George, sorry I'm late. I stayed out too late at the manhole last night. Oh, yeah, you got the late night crowd in there, and especially on Sunday night late night crowd. That's like going to the strip club at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday. Canadian Tanker Yanker, Altum Tank out of Hammond just raised their rates. Hammond, Indiana. They are one of the better paying tank companies for sure. A friend of mine works there. Is this Hammond, Indiana? What the hey, Zeus? Hey, what's going on? Someone sold an invisible statue of air for big bucks. Oh, my God. I saw this, too. So we're all idiots, apparently, because some artist sold nothing. Literally nothing. Just the thoughts in a space. And it was $17,000. Just the thoughts of a space he sold. Okay, and we got to work every day. This guy sold thoughts in a space. Just the space. The energy of the space. Wonderful. And this is why we're not on Mars. How much of your Ford extended warranty? How did you get a warranty for $100,000? I got a $75,000 because I don't put that many miles on the car. The car's almost 2 years old. It doesn't even have 10,000 miles on it yet. So I don't do the longer one. But if you drive more miles, they'll go to like 125 or something like that. So do the longer one. It was like $1,400 or something like that to extend basically the bumper to bumper to 75,000 miles. Is it a good deal? Maybe. You know, some of them you make out and some you don't. I've had stuff replaced. I've had transmissions replaced under extended warranties, and then sometimes nothing happens. It's a risk for both sides. If you don't get it and there's a $4,000 repair, you got a problem. The air stops working. You don't just reconnect a little thing under the dashboard. It's all electronic. So stuff gets pretty expensive. And you got to just decide how many miles you're going to drive in that time. I only did 75,000 because I won't put that many miles on. I'm close to 2 years, and it's at 9,600 something right now when I filled it up yesterday. And we'll get probably 14,000 by the end of summer, probably. That's what I'm thinking. 13 or 14,000 will be on it. So that's what I do on that. I'm working on my tow truck training since Saturday. Oh, really? Do they have classes for that? I wouldn't drive for a company without an APU or allow idling. Don't have to worry about it where I'm at driving a day cab. Right. So that's a good thing. My day cab won't idle, but I don't have to idle in it. And that is a good plan. Right. But the thing is, people were at Millis, and now they're changing the policy once you're there. I'll tell you what, the drivers ought to revolt. There should have been a billion emails from those drivers immediately saying, no way. Mary and Elizabeth were cousins, not sisters. Awesome. It's Bible talk. All I could say, pay has come a long way from 18 cents to now, no doubt. I mean, the last few years, the pay is really good. I wish it paid this much when I was on the road. I will tell you that. It wasn't anywhere near this kind of pay. We'll be here through 1:30 Eastern if anybody has any Geotab ELD questions. All right. The Geotab ELD questions are right there. There we go. Fleet Nav Systems, if you have any questions about that. And GP Transco is here as well. I saw that as well. So 60 cents base over there, 90 grand. Give them a call. And where did I go off to? I missed myself. Didn't put myself back up there. I am. All right. Too many clicking. My company doesn't have a problem with idling, but my truck doesn't like to do a regen, so I try to keep the idle at a minimum. Look, the thing is, they don't care about it. So if you feel like you're uncomfortable, you can run the truck. That's what matters. You're on the road. You need to be comfortable. Not everybody likes to sleep in Houston weather at night with their vent windows open. Okay, and cicadas coming in their truck apparently to have a snack. It's Holland Yellow and we're seeing Yellow, same company. Yeah, they're all part of one big happy family. They're all union. At 55, they need to pay by the hour like $30. Yeah, except you're still going to get your mileage pay, whatever it was, but it'll be less, right? Just the fact that you can only, if they actually did that, which I haven't heard from anybody yet, but if they go to a truck to 55, you lose 10 miles an hour for your day, you can lose 100 miles a day. Well, that's a real problem, isn't it? If you're getting 50 cents, there's $50 out of your pocket besides the fuel bonus that you're not getting. Hey everyone, Sam checking in from Edmond, Oklahoma. Saturday I had to go get an 8,100 260-pound load reworked. Yeah, get that load out of there. Tell them, take their extra pallet off of there. They tried to sneak in there. Raining buckets in Middle Kentucky. It was kind of rainy earlier. I did not feed the birds today. A Canadian tanker yanker in Hammond, Indiana. All right, my hometown. Trucking Answers. If you still doubt the existence of GP Transco Teal Cascadia, Smart Trucking recently did an overview of one of them. I saw that. I'm like, that's Dave with that truck. How does he get a truck? A teal truck. Maybe because he's on the other side of the border, I guess. That's how that happened. Got someone in the Chicago zone checks into my hot tip because there's too much mega carrier abuse being tolerated. I know. The thing is, the only reason this stuff happens like Millis and all this other goofy stuff is because drivers tolerate it. A union that allows drivers to not be paid, I don't know where to go from that. Does circumcising a roller wiener make it kosher? Depends what happens with it after that. 27 an hour and 62 cents for Canadian drivers and 32%, I believe, for U.S. drivers. 32% is really high percentage that I see out here. Kevin, cannabis is big in a big rig in California. What's the legality on that? I don't know. I assume you can carry it if it's legal and you have bills for it. So that's what I assume. In the truck? No, absolutely not. Because it's federally not allowed. So if you have it in the truck for personal use or even a prescription, not allowed at all. So no way. The only way you can take it, it's like having an open beer in the truck, right? It's not allowed. So take it in the trailer with bills. I assume it's legal. Not sure. All right. In the truck? Absolutely not. Schedule 1 on federal? Can't have it. John Emmel, is there a law on how long you have to certify your previous day's e-logs? Your previous day's e-logs need to be certified. So either agree to them or don't change them, but they do need to be certified. All the last 8 days or whatever need to be on there and certified. Roger Bensky, Mazel Tov. Hey, all right. Mazel Tov. I'm going to get some unleavened bread here in a minute. Kelterusso travels. Someone grows beers in a bottle and fills it with cognac. That sounds delicious. Well, that's different. I could see that. That might make sense. But a square watermelon makes no sense to me. Other than you could slice it like sandwich slices. Like, goober grape almost. GP Transco was a great video. Would love to see Mark do one of those reviews. Yeah, sure. Drop a truck off here for a week, would you? I appreciate that. I wonder if they had to use oversized placards when they moved the statue and if they hit any bridges. Nice. Dopla, yes. YRC is yellow, and they're yellow. Roadway Holland, yes. Cannabis in the trailer as a customer. Yeah, I don't see why you couldn't haul it. Look, if it's legal where it's picking up and where it's going, I assume you can haul it. But here we got these middle states where, could they give you a problem with it? I don't know. I don't know. It's a little risky at the moment. It would be. I'd be nervous. A GP Transco, if he ever wants to, our cascaded doors are always open for him. I appreciate it. Your day cab will idle, set your cruise up a little. No. Tried it. I've done everything that people have always said. Set the cruise. Does not work. Just pull the trailer brake. Doesn't work. Okay, it'll turn off at a light. All right, so say you pull up. Okay, the light's usually not long enough, but say you pull up to railroad tracks and there's a train with your foot on the brake in gear, just like you're driving and you're just sitting there because it's an automatic, it'll turn off. The thing comes on, 200-second countdown. I thought, all right, let's see. It turns itself off, and you got to put it in neutral, pull the brake, and restart it. So they have it set. It will not idle. The only way you can idle it is the shop. They plug in the computer with some big gizmo, and they can let it run and up idle it and all that to fix it and stuff like that. But you cannot get the thing to run. Alex, art is the last unregulated commodity in the eyes of the IRS. Art is considered an expense, and to the IRS, it's a write-off. Well, if somebody wants to pay $16,000 for the thoughts in the space, I will sell the thoughts in the space next to me here for only $7,000 if they want, and I'll have them delivered. So, free delivery. John Emil, you have to approve your logs daily unless there's no change of duty status. Right, and even when I come in, it'll say, the last couple days will be there for me to approve before I can sign into it. So do you certify these past days, even though it says no, off duty or whatever? So yeah, those days have to be approved or changed or whatever needs to be done for it. Actually, someone from my company bought it to our drop yard. I had to go 130 miles back to the shipper. Great. JJ the trucker with Prime has a unique setup behind the cab for his bike. Check out his channel, George Wilson. I would think that'd be a better place to put your bike, right? Hang them. I see them back there every once in a while. Why wouldn't you hang the bike behind the truck to get it out of the wind? And it'd be covered with cicadas, literally. You go to ride it, yuck. I heard that California doesn't allow you to run an APU now. Why not? You can't run your APU? Who would go there? The truck has a sticker that is compliant. Why couldn't you even just run the truck? Why does California hate trucks? I know people like to buy stuff. They do. We should stop taking them things if you can't actually run your truck. I don't understand why you couldn't do that. Why does California hate trucks? Let's see, where'd I go off to? If cannabis is in your freight, you need a copy of the grower's license, a COA for each strain, and a bill of lading. Trailer has to be sealed. I'm sure there's a bunch of these weird rules. Like I said, I don't know anything about them. It would make me really nervous. Fleet Nav Systems, you have 14 days to verify your logs. After that, you're supposed to have your admin print the logs, physically sign them, and keep on hand for 6 months. All right, there's the actual rule. Feds protected cannabis freight after the Idaho crap last year. There was that guy that got in trouble for it. That's what I'm thinking about. That makes me a little nervous of hauling it. I made a delivery of greenhouse equipment to a large grow house for cannabis up in Sholo, Arizona. Reefer does not cross state lines because there are greenhouses in every state where it is legal. Huh. GP Transco, it was really simple, actually. We simply booked a load to Canada right near their home. Oh. They asked if we could make it happen, and it was simpler than we expected. Oh, all right. I figured you just delivered a day cab to them or one of your trucks to them for a week to, kind of like they do with the cars, to people to drive around for, a week or so. That's why I assume it worked. Marijuana is also not transported by trucks that require a CDL. It depends how much marijuana there is, I guess. Is it legal to verbally slap the legal system for corruption? Chef Matt, that is legal. Yes. When it starts to count up, try switching to neutral back to drive and see if that resets it. All right? Of course, the problem would be I'd have to do that every 3 minutes. So, because if you're doing that, you can just step on any pedal or do anything and it resets it immediately. But the idea would be that it continues to run without doing the countdown, every little over 3 minutes. That's the annoying part. Really, I don't really sit in it with it running anywhere, so it isn't a huge problem. Winter's more of a problem, a little bit. Holland, ABF, Dayton Freight, Old Dominion, Estes, the Mount trucks. They're not all union though. My 2020 truck won't up idle. Ryder says it was set up that way on purpose. Your jam on purpose, but whose purpose? Any rental company generally does whatever you want. We've rented trucks. I had an old truck that they rented. Gosh, who was that? Oh, I know it was the Tomato. I can't think of their name. Red Gold. That's it, right? Because they're down in outside of Frankfurt. And so we get their trucks rented. And that was a super nice truck, I thought. Oh, man. And they're like, oh, well, this is how the company orders it. They can do whatever they want. I'm like, well, this is super nice. They go, well, you can only have it while your truck's in the shop or whatever. But it was nice. It went like 74 miles an hour. It idled. It was a T2000. It had a fridge in it and a TV mount and everything. It was super nice. The Mount Rushmore of trucking. Wonder how long your trailer would smell like pot after transporting. You know, imagine how much coffee you'd need to put in there. FedEx delivers a lot of marijuana. Do they really? Look to people's houses? I actually saw that. I saw that TLGP Transco truck going down the highway just outside Toronto. Even saw TLGP Mark. Wow. Well, I think, right, GP Transco, you do go to Canada, though, right? You do take loads up there. Glad I cleared my calendar to do fight corruption. Yes. Our new 2020s will idle, but they're manuals and they're not set up with the parameters. It doesn't even have a limiter. Don't ever tell them. Right. They are quite rare in Canada, actually. Oh, okay. Let's see. Whether or not they realize it or not, it is debatable. And those are, Chris Keller, those are 10 speeds. I wanted to do this, too. Let's see. CRST. Can you believe this? Now they're running ads for this. Teams, 75-cent split to start and $10,000 sign-on. At CRST? I mean, what do you have to do at CRST to get 75 cents? Did they, like, double their pay in the last week? This is an ad that they're running. 75 cents. I couldn't believe it. 70. Is this what the world has come to? Where CRST is paying that? Just leave the doors open a while. It airs out pretty quick. Sometimes you'll open a trailer and like, what was the last thing hauled in this? What did they haul a bunch of onions and square watermelons in here? 10 speeds are crap. Got to go 18, Chef Matt. Wow. I haven't seen an 18 in a long time. Like a long time. That'd be owner-operators only now. Companies are just not getting those unless they're hauling huge equipment. Andrew Miller, it's 97 in Plainview, Minnesota. Really? It is not that warm here. I mean, what are we looking at here? It's 73 here. It's only 73, really? It seems warmer than that. Okay, I show 77 here right now, so it seems warm. I thought it was like 90 degrees out. 10 speeds are fine for what we do, and 15 speeds are better than 18s, in my opinion. I'll take a 13 speed on the road. I live in a grow state. Send me some seeds, please. I personally wouldn't want to mess with it because each state's got so many weird different rules. Some are all okay on it, and some aren't. Pete Buttigieg says the I-40 bridge is important. Don't you love that? Hey, thanks, Pete. The bridge there, by the way, late July, in case you are going over it regularly. That's what they just said today. At the earliest, they expect it to open in late July. They're in Memphis, so it's costing $2.4 million a day. I don't know how they figure that out, and it's taking people around 55 minutes to 60 minutes, what used to take people about 8 to 9 minutes down there. But expect late July, and that is a long time. Go around. If there's any way, please go around. Do not go through there. You're better off. Currently unloading 30,000 pounds of non-consumption grade hemp. All right, so rope hemp, I guess. We are local in construction mixers and dumps, Chris Keller. You can LP an 18-speed at Western Flyer Express. Really? Some of those big trucks have 18 speeds in them? Well, it would make sense, the trucks, because they're all lights at that place. They do, and I'll give them this. They have some nice-looking trucks. I never realized that you can get an 18. Do they also have a class to teach people how to drive them? It's very rare to find a 10 up here. 13 and 18 are standard, but you can gross 140,000 pounds on 9 axles, so they're needed. Yeah, exactly. Down here, not as much. Unless you're off-road, why have an 18 over a 13 speed? I agree. I would take a 13 here. On-site mixers and an end dump gross 80,000. Well, I'll be staying overnight at Tate & Lyle. Any good restaurants that deliver in Lafayette? Well, you can Uber Eats here. They have Uber Eats that goes and picks up everywhere. Where are you going to stay at Tate & Lyle? Will they let you park there? At Tate & Lyle? Really? Heavy haul need 18 twin sticks. Twin sticks matter. We can get a shirt for that. Are you just going to park at Tate & Lyle? You're up close to the... there's a gas station up there, but there's not much else up there. At Schuyler, there's a couple gas stations in the area. That's not great. There's, yeah, see, can you bobtail out of there? The Grumpy Truckers here checking in. I appreciate it. I know they did a survey about drivers and why they're leaving and why they don't leave. What is the most important thing to drivers that keeps them at a company? Well, it turns out it is not pay. Only 44% of the drivers said pay. I thought that was pretty interesting. 72% of the drivers said home time. They want more home time. They don't want more pay. And yet what are companies giving? More pay. Then 41% said they want better equipment. So interesting that equipment and pay was almost doubled by just simply asking for more home time. I think that's pretty good. The thing that the drivers want is not the thing that companies are giving them. Companies want to give out more pay when drivers, according to survey, want more home time. How can companies make up more home time for you? That is the solution. Jason, saw some Western Flyer Express T680s Oklahoma City while I was waiting. They have a cute badge on the hood. 500. Oh, a Cummins 500 and an 18-speed. All right, to let everybody know that you've got this 18-speed and you can drive an 18-speed. That you've taken the Western Flyer Express class, probably, how to drive an 18-speed in 9 easy lessons. Chris, if I were to spec a heavy haul truck, it would probably be a 15-speed with an auxiliary transmission. You can't kill a 15-speed. Those are super rare here, too. I mean, I haven't seen that in 20 years, probably. 13 speeds went out, at the beginning of the century, basically, in the United States. You just don't see them in company trucks. Of course, Western Flyer would say that's not a company truck. So while you're shifting through all those gears, they probably tell you to shift through all of them, too, to look cooler. And be sure also to run your Jakes in the truck stop, because that's always cool. I hear that almost every night. There's somebody running Jakes through the Petro here in the Healy, Indiana. Chef Matt, the tow operator, is training me on a 6-speed auto Ford F750 governed to 78. With a 21-foot rollback. What a bear to maneuver on a pair of 9-foot lane roads to get a car abandoned between buildings. Yeah, I see these guys on Be Very Safe because, you can get run over. They just had a tow truck driver jump off a bridge, if you saw that, into like a river because there was a semi that rolling right down the edge of the road was going to kill him. So that was in the news. 18 lessons for an 18-speed. Yeah, they give each gear gets its own lesson on why to use 15th gear. 15 speeds and 8 double overs are still popular here in oil fields, dumps, and mixtures. Yeah, but on the road, for a company truck on the road, you just don't see it. Half our drivers, I would say now, can't even drive a manual. I stay at my company because of the benefits, healthcare especially. That was the next one down. It was like 31% was healthcare. So that was on there, but it wasn't the main reason. It wasn't the thing that drivers wanted when they're looking for another job, Not counting all the reverse gears, right. You can go reverse like 50 miles an hour with that. So that's always super convenient as well. You can get that thing really rolling backwards. And if you're good at it, you can make some tracks going backwards too. Some places it would change your log now onto driving because of it. I've driven Max with 9-speed pulling belly dumps, 150,000 pounds with 4 axles. Right, I had a 5-speed Mac, pulled these super huge containers around Chicago, although it was quite slow. You can't stall an 18-speed. Depends what gear you start on, and when you forget, you're like, oh, I'm still on 18th, dang it, when that red light changed or whatever. But yeah, I hear you, right. The Mac 5-speed, though, very slow. Nice, you don't hardly have to shift. But the 4th to 5th, holy mackerel, once you were in it, you were done. I mean, you couldn't, that was it. And it was super slow. Put your foot on the floor and wait. The deep reduction transmissions are not a road transmission. If it was OTR, I'd like a 13-speed. No need for an 18 grossing 80,000. That's what I'm saying. For most of these road trucks, I bet they would do good with a 13-speed. What's a 13-speed? Some drivers now are what's a stick. They cannot, I would say it's up to half probably now that have the restriction that can't drive a stick shift. Reverse miles don't count. It reduces the amount of pay. Look, every mile ought to count. All miles matter. 90% of the time you don't have to split the low side on an 18. That's true, right? And it's the same on a 13-speed, right? I would start it out in low. It wouldn't split up to 13 until 12. That's how I did it, right? Unless I had a full load or up a hill or something, you didn't even have to split the top of those. Looking at a trucking job, pay and home time, and APU, top 3, not really any order, just must have. Well, as they keep changing all these policies, I recommend you call places and see what you're doing. Do you want pay or do you want home time? I mean, I'm home a lot and I don't make as much as most people on here. I just don't. I do all right an hour, but because I don't work much, I don't make as much. But to me, that's not as important. I'd rather make more for the time that I work and get my own stuff going on. So it just depends. There are people that are gone that make great money. I drop my tank in the bay and come back for it in the morning. Oh, I can park up off the entrance to the plant. Family Express looks like it doesn't have parking. There's a truck stop about 5 miles from you. You can also park at Meyer. So you can go park at Meyer, and they're open till midnight. You can also go to a truck stop down State Road 38 at the interstate at exit 168. They have about 12 parking spots, maybe. It's open all night. Or you can go to Meyer, which is State 26 at the interstate, exit 172. You can park in Meyer all night, but they close at midnight and open back up at 6 a.m. So you have that. And if you parked at Meyer, you could walk across the street, go across the Tesla Supercharger, walk across the street. There's a Dairy Queen there, a White Castle, and a coffee shop and Steak and Shake right there. So there's also that. And that's probably a 4 miles from you. Heading out of here soon, Fleet Nav Systems. Great to see you. Hope to catch you next week. Have a great week and drive safe. All right, enjoy a square watermelon out there. GP Transco, the Sea Commercial Carrier Journal, right, ran a good nationwide survey about the same thing 2.5 years ago. They found that drivers are looking to be treated with respect as the main thing, pay and home time after that. Yeah, I think that it never comes up with pay as the first thing, though, does it? Never comes up with pay. Here, these drivers said 72% wanted more home time. They want to get home more, and that's not what companies are offering. They could, just relay a couple loads, set up some relays, get drivers home more often. That seems to be what they were asking for in this. But companies that are not offering that, they're all like, here's some more money, but drivers are like, I'd rather be home. So what's better, a battery pack or APU or Thermo King? Well, I would take an APU that's run on a diesel because you can run it for several months without running out of fuel. So for me, that's my personal preference. You don't have to have the truck start and charge the batteries every 7 or 8 hours or whatever to keep them charged. So remember, Daniel, but if you get an 18-speed, you wouldn't have to lock up your truck because no one can drive it. That's true. You don't have to do it with your car either. You can get a stick shift and just leave it sit there. Yeah, you don't have to lock the truck or anything now. Half the people can't drive a stick. They get in it and go, oh well. And then they see 18, a complicated thing in the dashboard. They're like, forget it. Daniel, I agree with you. We should get paid sitting at the shipper or receiver. I would like to know who told you to be quiet about that. Whoever told you to be quiet. Oh, people say that all the time. Oh, Mark, well, you don't know what you're talking about. That's all in your rate or whatever. Well, no, it isn't. I don't go along with that at all. All your time needs to be paid. If you're going to give me mileage, as soon as I'm not getting mileage, I need to be paid hourly. So that's the thing of it. That time should all be paid. Okay, you can't say, and this goes from, because I had to wait this week. They had some kind of trailer problem. Trailers didn't come, and there were a bunch of us waiting. Probably at least 10 people, 10, 12 people waiting, but I was getting paid. But the other drivers were all grumbly about it, and we waited a long time. Some had to leave because they were running out of hours, road drivers. And so they were going to lose a day on that. That isn't like, oh, that's all in the rate or that's all in the amount that they got. That cost them a lot of time, and they're not getting paid for it. And it's their fault because they could go get paid for it somewhere and don't. So I just don't get it. Jason, I like being home every night. I could make more if I stayed out, but being in my own bed and use my own shower is priceless. Exactly. You see your family, use your shower, sleep in your own bed, do your own stuff. To me, that's it because, how many chances do you get through life, to be honest with you? I did 20 years on the road, and I wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't, for me. Dave, I'd say Thermo King diesel, but I've never used an electric one. The only problem I see with an electric one is you run out of juice. So you got to start the truck and charge the thing back up. So I'd rather the diesel one currently until they had batteries that would run a full 34-hour break. Then I might be with it. But in a hot, like in Houston or whatever, where you got that air cranking and during the daytime, I don't think it's going to run a full break. Andrew, percentage pay that comes with original rate con is good in my opinion. Okay, it is with a good thing, but I don't do percentage. I'm just concerned about it. I can make up a rate thing and send it to somebody. I want to know what I'm going to get a mile. How can we as drivers change that, Daniel? You don't accept places that don't pay you. So like if Millis goes to for example, where they say, oh, we're not going to pay you for this time, you leave. Or this union company where there's 2 hours of waiting time. No, I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it. I'd say no. I don't come in and work for nothing. I mean, I don't do that. You wouldn't allow a 14-year-old to. If you were to quit and went to work at McDonald's and they go, you start at 8 and we start paying you at 10, you wouldn't work there. You'd be immediately say, no way. Well, they go, well, you have to give us 2 hours. Well, why do truck drivers tolerate it? Stop tolerating it. Once no company can get people to do it, they would have to pay you. Chris, Robert, get a 6+4. Oh, Spicer, yikes. You can leave the key and it won't have to worry about a thing, no doubt. You can leave the door open and say, please take me. Canadian tanker yanker, they can't drive the 18, but they can steal my family pack of roller wieners. Lock the doors. That's true. There's some stuff in there you don't want to lose your wiener to somebody. That'd be a problem. They simply don't want their tractors parked while the driver is on extended home time. Oh, I don't lock my doors. 13 speed plus 80-pound German Shepherd. Oh, you got to leave the truck running anyway. Can someone buy something off Amazon for $1 million? I don't know if they'll let it. I don't know what the pricing is there. I don't sell anything on Amazon. I don't know if they have anything for $1 million. Somebody should look that up. I don't know. We can sell some artwork for that. Make sure the 18-speed has a 4-foot-long shift lever. Oh, you got to have the shifter way up here, so you can be shifting that thing forever. That's one thing I never understood. Don't need an 80-pound German Shepherd, an 8-pound Shih Tzu. Right. They're super mean, Tom. Kiltrusu, put in pay $3 per mile, $400 for 4 hours of wait time. Then you're being paid for the wait time. Oh, nice. That'd be nice if you own the truck, wouldn't it? The same with owners. They should get paid for the time that they wait. That should be in their rate. Okay, if I'm waiting, I get $50 or $100 an hour, whatever it is. I mean, it should be $100 or more. You're delaying a piece of equipment. That's very expensive. Nomad Trucker, my understanding is a battery APU or EPU lasted 10 hours at most and takes 8 hours to recharge. Yeah, 10 hours at most. That's the problem. What if you're going to be somewhere 11 hours? Then the truck has to start. And I would rather have the diesel thing run, and then it would just run, personally for me. Yeah, you got to do an oil change every once in a while still. 13-speed has 18-inch extensions. Will you put it? You're gonna have to have it welded. Are they going to change the hours of service? I'm waiting for that again. They're re-looking at the old hours of service, but they haven't announced anything yet. So as soon as they announce something, I'll be all about it. But they said they're looking at the changes that were made, and they may have to go back or make some more changes. Yep. So yes, possibly. You can buy pretty sure you can buy a space shuttle off Amazon at this point. I'd rather get it at Wish, as long as you can wait 6 to 8 months. I think you can get one off of Wish. Let's see. Oh, the ATA. They're all up in arms about this insurance increase, which people have asked me. They're kind of about for it. They're for the new, whatever the act was, the Invest in America Act. I can't think of the name of it. Dang it. I didn't write it down. So it would increase the insurance amount to $2 million. And the ATA is like, oh, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, that's a great idea. So I looked up a couple of mega carriers. None of them carries $2 million of insurance right now. So I'm saying that if they think it's a great idea, why don't they carry that much insurance right now? That's what I'm saying. They carry, usually they're $1 million on most of these places. Key West alert. It's me. The rock hauling company did not work. All right. Well, what are we going to do about that? Especially in Key West. Brian, taking delivery of a 2022 KW900. Nice. The interest rates are insane. If I needed financing, $3,000 a month in interest alone. Wow. All right. $3,000 a month. Well, you can go lease a truck from Prime for that money. I like Pet Bear the best, but they carry a heavy load. Ugh. Most expensive thing on Amazon as of March is a Christine Mathewson portrait baseball card for $409,000. Okay, so I guess if your card will allow it, you can just click and do a $400,000 transaction. I'm selling a Pete with the thought of an 18-speed transmission for $100,000. Oh, people would love that. I think that would sell. Celtic Rooster, Rabbit Honey Badger is a good guard animal. That would be, but I mean, it would guard the truck against you as well, and probably a lot of states won't allow you to have that kind of thing. I think a lot of companies also might look a little bit askance at a honey badger. Bezos should be selling shuttle tickets soon. He just bought the first ride. I saw that. Right, that's what happens. You get a lot of money. I got a Shih Tzu mix and weighs 14.5 pounds. That's a big one. That's what she said. You told me about the company in Nevada, I wasted my time. What company in Nevada is that? Everything I bought off Amazon, I have shipped to my main terminal. I only get through Tulsa every 3 months. They get really mad when I have 30 to 40 packages from Amazon. Amazon now has these boxes all around. There's a number of them around town. I've seen them here. You can have it shipped to a box, and they're in some truck stops too. So if you know you're going to go somewhere, you can have it shipped to a locker near you, and you can do that. So there's also that. Check the Amazon locker deal. That might not be a bad way to do it. She's crossed with a Japanese princess dog. Is that a real dog? Is it square? Chef Matt, me being on the gunpoint for truck keys to a truck with an 18-speed. Put the gun down. Here's the keys and give it a try. Exactly. Does she eat the square watermelon? Exactly, right. I'll sell a 379 with a cat and an 18-speed. Also has the 63-inch flat top and 300 wheelbase. Oh, I love those. I love when the truck sticks out 12 feet past the other trucks at the truck stop. That's brilliant. First snow, let's see, and only 3 small payments of $30,000. That's nice that you break it up. Kevin, I left my last company after 5 years. They refused to put APUs on the trucks and said they're too costly. The first snow I froze, and that's all she wrote. Now I'm home every day. Why didn't they let you run the truck? If they're not going to put an APU and you have to sleep in the truck, why don't they let you run the truck? But which I agree with you. If they don't, I'd be out of there. There's no way I'm sleeping in a truck without an APU, and that won't idle. They got to do one or the other. And now you actually see, the thing is, when you leave, it usually turns out better, because then that gives you the opportunity to get the job you really want. So most people will they'll always stay wherever they're comfortable rather than going to get what they want. That's like Motivation Monday. I would stay with the diesel APU. You can always jumpstart your truck. That's true. You can start the truck from it, or your car if you get back. Pilot company, they haul rocks. Really? They quit my job. I quit my job to go to Nevada. The recruiter lied about giving me a job. I was stuck in Elko and had to go over the road to get back to my state of Florida. Pilot company, they haul rocks. I'm on a 20-stop load. Trucking journeys. Holy mackerel. What does everybody get? One love seat or something? Wow. And how long is that going to take you to do? 20 stops. You'd like this place. I will say this Union place pays $50 a stop. 20. Cassius King Trucking is sweating now like, oh my gosh, I love it. Those large peats that are longer than the trailer they're pulling are super cool. Canadian tanker yanker. I love when they stretch it, and then later they turn it into a day cab, and you can see it used to be a sleepers because they just add a window into the back of this day cab, and there's this huge frame. There's like 25 feet of frame, and they have to put the air hoses on a pole that sticks up in the back. That's brilliant. That's what I want. It's a gigantic day cab that I can't even maneuver around. Great idea. Oh, it's only 3 days? Oh, that's not too bad. I guess it's easy when you only got to kick out one lounge chair at each place. Kelly. Seems like companies that don't allow idle and won't put an APU could be held liable for injuries. I don't think so. Because they're not there. How did that work into May? Because that's what I was thinking back to is the lawsuit at May, where May was taking the pay from drivers for running the truck. They were charging them for fuel. And even though people tell me they didn't do that, May fought that in court and admitted to it in court that, yeah, we do this. And the court sided with May on that because it said that the company's business wasn't being done by idling the truck at night, meaning that keeping the driver comfortable or whatever wasn't part of moving the freight around. And that was the business of the company, moving the freight around. And so May actually won that lawsuit. Now, they don't do that anymore, but that was the case there. And the courts have said no, that the business of moving freight isn't, the comfort of a driver isn't part of that. So, Nomad Trucker, I got T-boned once as a company driver, hit the APU and destroyed it. Told the company to turn the idle limit off, or I quit. No problem, done in 5 minutes. Yeah, when I had an APU, the policy was don't run the truck, of course. But if it stopped working or it didn't work, all you had to do is call them. The truck would still idle. And all you do is call them and say, look, this thing doesn't work. And so that's why I'm running the truck. It was no issue at all. No problem. Now, I don't know now. Apparently places are getting a little bit worse about this. I was intimidated, George Wilson, by a stick years ago, but no more. And a stick with a splitter and a range valve was intimidating, but now it's an old friend. I know. I see those trucks. I go, oh, it's like driving a historic truck around. Pilot Thomas and Carlin haul ore. I worked there too. Pay average was $700 a week pulling double side dumps. That's not super great. I love that they pay for my hotel and they pay me to sleep in the hotel. That is good. I didn't think I was going to make this much money here when I started this job, but it's the most I've ever made. Well, I will say, with 20 stops on there with what you're hauling, it wouldn't take long at each stop to get that unloaded. And so, yeah, you make it up on stops and then spend the night at a motel. Not bad. And plus your hub pay, like you're saying, stop pay, drop and hook pay, and get paid to sleep. That's right. They did pay for that too, right? $700 a week pulling doubles. I wouldn't get out of bed for $700 a week. Canadian tanker yankers. And that company needs to learn that they can't do that. Test drive a new Cascadia a few weeks ago. Spent the whole time with my arm dangling in the air looking for a stick. Ha! Yeah, the new ones don't have sticks, do they? You have nowhere to put your hand. And the little armrest that they have there isn't long enough. Put a long armrest on these trucks. I know I'm going to screw the spelling, Robert, but it's Lapopiso. They are the Japanese princess personal guard dogs. Just like Shih Tzus are Chinese princess guard dog versions. Really? Those are guard dogs in China? I guess they're not that concerned about being overrun by anyone. Pilot Thomas Logistics. I'm okay not blaming you. I took a chunk of my life of my wife's. We needed the 100,000, but we were in a worse spot than before. I need 10,000 to get back on track. If you're in Florida, look, there's jobs all over. Just get on now, especially, and get one of them, basically. I mean, certainly now, places are constantly. If CRST is going to put 75 cents out there, CRST, of all things, there's got to be a job near you. I had a table in the back, so there's that. Yesterday I had to sit at a scale house for 35 minutes till my vinegar load just stopped moving around. I was not happy. They gave me an inspection. My company gave me $100 for a clean inspection. Well, at least you got paid for it, basically. I like that companies pay that kind of stuff. I think it'd be better, certainly for all drivers, to get hourly. Then any kind of waiting, even for your vinegar load to move around, is paid. But certainly there shouldn't be this time where you sit for a couple of hours. They go, oh, well, 2 hours later we'll start paying you after 2 hours. I don't think so. So Navistar had their IT system was attacked, and they got in and got some information. They won't say what it is. So consider that when they're out trying to, make these self-driving trucks and all that. And remember, who was it? JBS this week? Well, last week they got attacked, so we had a meat problem. There wasn't meat for a couple of days. And so all these places are getting hacked by outside sources. And international, what if those trucks were being run by who knows what? And this guy attacks some clerk with nunchucks. He's our Bruce Lee wannabe of the week. He went into a parts store, apparently got into a fight with the clerk, as is going to happen, and attacked the clerk with nunchucks. And the police were called. They go to his semi. What does he have in the semi? 2 13-inch swords, among other martial arts weapons, it says. So apparently, and the problem was the 13-inch swords are too long, of course. I don't know if the nunchucks are illegal or not. They are, I guess, if you hit somebody with them. But the swords got the guy arrested. So lesson, do not attack people with nunchucks if you don't know what you're doing. I don't think anybody with more than a year's experience driving a truck should settle for less than $1,200 a week for any job. It's not worth it if you don't make that much trucking journeys. Yeah, once you get a year in, you certainly can get 4 figures, easily into 4 figures. And if you're not getting that regularly, go somewhere else. On the road, though, you need to make more than $1,200 a week on the road, don't you think? That's $60,000 basically, right? So on the road, 12,000 or 1,200 is 60,000 on the road. You can get that being home every day. Here's who is it? Bar None, right? Okay, Bar None is advertising in Indianapolis, local, home every day, off weekends, Monday through Friday, start 6 a.m., $13.50 a week. Home every day, and you're working for Bar None, a large company. You're probably going to deliver road drivers loads. That's what I assume you'll do there in the Indianapolis area. It didn't say. That's $13.50 a week. Okay, so that's $70,000 home daily for Bar None. So I think if you can get that and be home every day, you certainly should get that on the road. Certainly. Do we get bragging rights for having driven a Super 10 back in the 90s? Columbia George, if you want to admit it. I mean, if you could actually get the thing down the road, it's super horrible. What happened to the Red Ball Express, slip seat and motels about 25 years ago? They're out of business, right? I haven't seen one of those in forever. 12,000 a week, 1,200 a week doesn't even equal minimum wage. So yeah, at minimum, exactly. To 1,200, it depends how many hours it is, I guess. But at 168 hours, that's the problem. If you're gone 7 days, 1,200 isn't great money. I've been looking for a local company that pays at least 1,000 take home. Well, you can't ever do take home. You have to do gross. It seems like an obstacle. Of course, we'll keep trying. Viking, Team Bullfrog, or Werewolf. All right. I don't know. I think that is a different channel. Pick collect remote control terrorism. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, 12,000 a week would be better, right? But 1,200 a week for 168 hours. Well, let's do this. I'm gonna have to get the calculator because I always figure overtime, right? Because you'd get overtime. So if you had all those hours of overtime, you'd have what? 128 hours of overtime, right? So 128 hours of overtime plus 40 hours of regular time is that, and 1,200. That's $5.17 an hour straight time if you get 1,200 a week and you're gone all 7 days. Because I consider the time that you're at work to be paid time. That's how I would like to see it. That's how people should really think about what they're doing. All the time the company takes from you. And that is all time that you're at work. If you can't do whatever you want, like when you're home, you can do whatever you want. So if you're at work, even if you're sleeping somewhere, you can't really do whatever you want. You're 1,000 miles from your house. So I consider that as how you should figure out what you actually make. That's $5.17 an hour. CRST bought Gardner Truck a couple years ago. They were big in California. Yeah, they bought a bunch of places up, but I'll tell you, 75 cents is nothing to sneeze at if it's actual. I will tell you, that's not terrible. I keep a machete in my truck under the seat. Is that legal? Flat highway? Probably not. I think it's 2 or 3 inches is it. I do carry a knife with me, my Bear Grylls knife, but it isn't as big as machete. I would say a machete. I'm not a cop or a lawyer. Probably not legal. Probably not. Self-driving escorts. Oh, wow. That'd be something. Those are coming. Joan Harper, lawn is mowed. I hate mowing when it's wet. Rain and more rain. When do you get a chance to mow? I do not mow. The crew comes and mows. Look, I'm the kind of that kind of stuff I think gets hired out. I think so. That's part of Motivation Monday too, really. I'm sick of working 70 hours. It's been 4 years now and it gets tiring. That's what I'm saying. That's a lot of hours to work. That's a lot of hours to work. I think that makes a really long week. So try to go somewhere that doesn't make that. And I think it's more than 70 hours because if you're going to be gone 3 days, I think that's a really long week. Looks like Night Trans is about to fold into Swift. Oh, are they going to become one? I always wonder, why are they going to run these separately when they're like one place? Are they going to have just Swift trucks with red streaks on them or whatever? I mean, I thought they would kind of combine it, really, to SK Trans or something like that, Swift Night Trans, something like that, into one place. It'd be a lot simpler, it seems like. Jason, the Hall Trash Company by my house is advertising $1,000 a week for 5-day work week with $250 if you work on Saturday. That's not super great, but look, it's still $1,250. Not terrible, right? Home every day. So $1,200 to be gone, I don't think it's great. George Costanza, $1,200 to be away from home for a week implies that you're paying for a home. And if you're paying for a home that you're not living in, you need to be renting it out and making passive income. I guess you could do that too. I still think that what I'm saying really in that is road drivers, because you're gone, should get more than a driver who's home because the company's taking that time from you. You shouldn't get paid your salary or pay based on your expenses, meaning you have a home or you don't have a home, that kind of thing. You get paid based on the time they're taking from you. And that time is being taken from you. So it ought to pay more than a local driver. Does he mean Wolfpack creature? Maybe. There is a channel, I think, that uses that kind of terminology. Always been my belief that if you're a company driver, you should start when you leave home and not your clock should start when you leave home and not stop until you're back home, right? Whatever starts, right? Right, exactly. And so all that time you need to consider into the pay. Okay, so they're going to pay me this much. How much of my time is being taken up by that kind for that money? That's how I think about pay now. On the road, right, it's always putting your head, okay, more a mile or whatever. No. I look at it differently. How much of my time is the company take? All of it. From when I leave to when I get back. Okay, if you're gone all 7 days, they've taken 168 hours of your time. That ought to pay. That ought to really pay. John, not in Canada. Nomad trucker, yeah, pay. That's autocorrect. I wonder why it autocorrected that way. Kelly, I have an array of knives for cooking. Well, that's true too. That's interesting, right? They're too long. Theoretically, could they be a weapon? Yours are different. A machete is hard to say I cook with it, right? So you could make more of a case and say, well, I make videos and stuff, and here they are. You have better case for it, right? George Costanza, if you're not renting a home or paying a mortgage, you're making great money to be away because you live in the truck and you have no bills. Trucking is a great way to get started investing. I totally agree with that. Right, live in the truck. I agree. But that company's taking your time and somebody who has a home's time the same, and they need to pay. They don't pay you less. Say you go in there and go, well, I don't have a house. They go, well, we're going to pay you 30% less because you don't have any bills. That'd be great, right? I'd go get a bunch of bills and get a pay raise. No, I don't think so. I'm saying they're taking a lot of your time, and so that time ought to pay. Anyone have a recommendation for a company for Central Florida? $1,300 a week gross. I think we can. I just did a video the other day about a guy in Orlando, and I found a number of places. I remember in Orlando, Hogan is advertising $72,000 a year out of Orlando. It's in Craigslist, so go check that out. I remember that from that video. John, I have 2 acres, and it takes 2.5 hours to get weeding and mowing done. Yikes. You need a riding mower, although you probably have one. Try working only 40 hours to know how much you're really getting paid, Mr. Crowley. Exactly. Most weeks I'm under 40 hours. Under 40 hours. Unless I have a really long wait or whatever, I don't do 40 hours a week. George Costanza, if you were married with 4 kids and you were a truck driver, I feel sorry for you because you probably don't have any money. That's your choice because you chose to feed those mouths. Okay, I hear you. People could be broke, but I mean, it depends what they do, right? We had 4 kids growing up and the wife is home, so... Cool Trans is a Swift night company too. They are? Those Cool Trans turned into Swift? I didn't know they bought them. George Costanza, but you don't need more money, and you shouldn't be paid more because you have more expenses. That's not how the market works. I agree. Right. Just because you have more people or whatever, the company shouldn't pay you that. They need to pay you for what they're taking from you, which is your time. People never value their time. That's the most important thing people have, and they never put any value on it at all. None. Once you put a value on it, you'll realize how much of it is being taken and how much you should charge for it. And that's the whole key to making more money. Any company out of Utah is a Swift company. What about Pride, right, in England? And all they're all Utah companies. Or CR England. Right, exactly. Kelter Rooster got to feed the rugrats. There, look, once a kid is 2, I think they go feed themselves, right? He's by a shelf that's really low, leave some spam out there. George Wilson, John S. Randall was union like their partner Spectre, but both went BK more than 30 years ago. That's a real problem. Key West Alert Hogan. Yeah, I saw an ad for Hogan in Orlando. They're advertising $72,000. I did that video the other day about it. So, yeah, I know they're down there. I don't remember the other places. There were a number of places down there. I worked for a local company that wanted you back in the truck before your 10-hour break was up. Keyword used to work for them. Joe, exactly. They want you back in the truck. So you're not even getting 10 hours off. That's not even worth it local, I think. The only good thing about being local would be to actually have some time off. And we have drivers that do that, which I don't ever understand. You come in and work 14 hours and then commute 2 hours. We have drivers that live an hour away. It doesn't make any sense to me. Not to me. But I look at stuff through a time perspective, not how much I'm making a week. How much are they taking my time, Trucking with Joker. Swift is doing the same thing with Knight as he did with MS Carriers. Oh, that's every place. And I saw an MS Carriers trailer this week. I thought, wow. And I had to look it up. They bought him in 2000. So, holy mackerel. It still said MS Carriers on it, too. And it looked like it was old. Jason, got a friend in Orlando, works for Black Horse, making $1,400 home daily. Oh, yeah, that's another one. Black Horse, right, which is Penske now. Bought them out. Yeah, they're big all over the country. Same thing. Looking for all those kind of logistics places down there. Swift ruined MS Carriers. They bought them out, and then they're gone. Joan has a tractor. It's a Cub Cadet. Yeah, okay, I figured to do 2.5 acres, that would take, well, it better have one of those things over the seat with the big umbrella on it to keep the sun off. I burn so easily because I'm not out in the sun enough, and so I always burn. This guy talked about They interviewed a guy on trucking topics or whatever and said, look, we'd really like to get more drivers, but there's so many marginal or unqualified drivers. We just don't know what to do with ourselves. Do you find that's true? I don't think that's the case. Is everybody marginal or unqualified? What do they mean by marginal? You have too many points or whatever? Most of the drivers that we have and that I encounter here have very good records. So is it just that everybody with a good record is already at a good job and is not having any issues? And so the only people that are applying are people that have 12 jobs or job hop and have a bunch of, things on their record. Is that the problem? The churn is then at the bottom of the driver kind of thing? I still don't know how truckers have families and work this job. In the military, literally everyone in my union got cheated on. Well, you have to have a good person, right, who honors their commitment. But, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's being gone. I don't understand it, right? It's tough on your family. It's tough, especially now when there's local jobs around that you can go get. So people do it. How they don't get cheated on? They have a good spouse that honors their commitment, right, till death. One of Swift's stockholders in the Teamsters Union, is the Teamsters Union. I don't see why not. They buy into all this kind of stuff to make money. Absolutely. John, weekends off or just resets home. It depends where you are, but yeah, exactly. So and being gone, you'd come in, get in at 1 in the morning, sometimes 2 in the morning on a Saturday. So you're up late, and then you have to go out Sunday night. That's no home time. I mean, holy moly. Swift took all the MS drivers at current pay, then drove them out because it was double the Swift pay. That's how all these places do, and that's what it seems like at Millis. Although I'm disappointed I didn't get a Millis driver on here today to talk to him about that. I'll see if I got an email from them later. But I want to talk about that to them, about their fuel bonus. Are they reducing it because they got bought by Heartland? That's the concern. Joan, I'm tan, I'm Indian, so I don't really burn. Oh, see, so you can take it out there. 3 minutes in the sun, and I am, lobsterized out there. Done. And when people see me, if you ever see me in the summer, right, it's long sleeves. You'll see me in long sleeves year round with pants on. Basically for that reason, and a hat because I burn very easily. Kelly, most important part of riding lawn is the beer cup holder. Exactly. Put that Schlitz in there and get out mowing the lawn, right? I cut 10 acres, but I got a Dixie chopper. Cuts at 18 miles an hour. Holy mackerel. So you're done in like 14 minutes. I still can't find a job, Joan. KC Logistics says they're on an 8-week hiring freeze. They are running ads, okay? Because I saw their ad today. I tried to apply for many jobs, but with no results. I saw their ad today. KC Logistics. So there. Tell them why. I would actually call them and I ask them, why are you running ads for drivers? Go to Evansville, Craigslist. There are ads for KC Logistics. Pull that ad so that when you call them and ask them about it or whatever, you can send it to them and say, look, here's your ad. They are running an ad. Trucking journeys. Job hopping isn't as big an issue as it used to be. I did my first 15 months. Driving is the only way I made over $60,000. You can do some, all right? But some people, every 3 months, and some of them are on YouTube. That's why we know about it. They'll have a job. Oh, I'm here. I'm at a new place. I'm at a new place. Every 2 months, they're somewhere else. Eventually, it's job hopping. I think it gets a little bit crazy. I'm a little late, but I got a firm grip on my Weiner. Cash is King Trucking is here. It's good to see you. Let's see here. There it is, right? It was probably live on doing 4 other shows. And Trucking with Diabetes, right? They get paid for all your time channel. So thank you for being here. And let's see. And I lost this, of course. Mr. Crowley, in a perfect world, you get paid 1.5 times your miles load pay after 40 hours. Oh, that would be nice, wouldn't it? What if you just got paid hourly pay and time and a half after 40 hours? So they didn't have to pay you miles, which are short. And even when they're accurate, unless you're getting hub miles, they're usually a little bit off. Now, if you get hub miles, you get all your miles. But, for a 500-mile run, if it's 485 miles paid, you're still getting hosed out of 15 miles. That's 3%. They shouldn't be able to hose you out of it. If they paid you hourly for all your on-duty time, you do all your on-duty time. And I got to say duty 3 times now. Truck semi-only highways need to be in Tennessee and Kentucky. There have been calls for that for a long time. You know who's going to get it done? AI Plus and Too Simple. They want truck-only highways, and they might get it done. But they'll only be self-driving truck highways. But they're working on it. Kevin, great show as always. I appreciate it. I have to clock in now so I get paid for all my time. That's awesome, and I appreciate that even more. I'll be back home in 8 hours. That's a nice day. The job you want is out there. Just looking driver stock taking company's crap. Exactly. That's like the comment of the day. Exactly. Now get paid for your time and do a regular day's work like a regular person. Absolutely. There's jobs out there. You just have to put a little bit of time in to find it, and then you're in. And then stay there. I think most of your drivers have around 3 companies their first year. 3 months opens a few doors. 6 to 9 opens better doors. I agree. And look, I did this too. In probably the first 3 years of driving or whatever, I probably had 15 jobs, to be honest with you. I just would go boom. And I just quit. Because I was young or whatever, only slightly younger than I am now. But if the company said something wrong to me or I didn't like something, I just walk out. I'm out of here. I just quit. I go down to the next place and work. So I did a lot of that. A few months here and there, yes. If 2 in truck is teaming, what is 3? England. It's called England. After 1 to 2 years, you should stop. It should be looking long-term, nomad trucker. Yeah, once you get your couple years experience, start thinking, what do I really want out of trucking? Do I have a family that I'd like to see once in a while? Or do I want to send my kids postcards from all over the country? Or do I want to stay in the truck, like some people, and make a lot of money while I live in the truck? That's also a great option. You know, what do you want to do? And then go do it. Just do it. Somebody ought to patent that or trademark that. I should do it. I don't know. OTR pay is terrible, but too many desperate people willing to work for free. It depends. I mean, where you are. But I think that your pay should be considerably more than a local driver. And I think it's probably not bad pay for the experience level and certainly the education level that some people have. Not that they're dumb, but saying that you don't even really need a high school diploma at a lot of places to make, close to 6 figures, which is not terrible on a 6th grade education, which is certainly possible. And maybe a felony. What are these logbooks I keep hearing about? Well, Cash is King Trucking. It turns out you're not going to have to use one for even longer. Your ELD, when you plug it in, it's probably not going to work. The battery's dead. It's probably all rusty and everything. And you're going to have to take a course from Fleet Nav Systems on how to use it again when you finally get back to using this thing. Oh my gosh. I switched companies 4 times. First 3 companies cut my pay after a year. Where I'm at now, my pay increases every 6 months. So you found the right place, and that's what they should do, right? How worried should we be with automated trucks? 0 at the moment. They're only working on it. So very, very unworried. It's decades for this. Roger Penske getting paid to listen to Trucking Answers. Who knew? That's even better. Black Horse is the house truck line for Aldi's grocery store in Batavia, Illinois. They're a huge logistics place. They do business all over the country. Penske bought them, but I guess they haven't changed the name. They might not change the name. They're all over. Ironically, if you work there, when you get in the truck there at Aldi's, you have to put a quarter in the truck. It's like connected to the truck in front of it. That's like an Aldi joke for people that shop at Aldi. Midlife trucker, 1 year with Millis, on with Cheeseman now, home every 2 weeks, making 6 figures. That's more like it. And Millis is, up on this fuel thing now, but now you found a much better place. And like you said, they don't really advertise because they don't need to. It's funny how that is, isn't it? Companies that are really good pay and stuff, they don't really need to advertise. 6 figures, you're close to 2,000 a week. That's more like it. Emperor Dion, my problem is I know I can make more money locally, but I really don't like where I live and got no reason to be there. Well, then, absolutely. Why don't you move to wherever you want to be also? Look, if you like being on the road or whatever, there's no problem with that at all. I just think it should pay good. OTR pay is great if you do research. Yeah, if you're at the right place, yeah, absolutely. Right? You're going to do great. There are places, though, where you 900, or whatever. That doesn't work. That doesn't work for me. I definitely sold my stock I had and keep trucking logbooks. You have this big pile they're all expired. We could 4 in a truck with 2 trainers, Marty. Well, if they could figure out how to put another bunk in there, I think they would. I want to fish the rest of my life. John Nelson. All you got to do is have enough money to do that. I never had my GED. I'm telling you, you could do that if you wanted to do it as part of Motivation Monday. If that's what you want to do, I don't know why you're not doing it. How about that? Oh, how about that? I never had my GED when I drove from 05 to 08. I have it now. Got it in February 2020. That's awesome. But as you see, right, you don't really need it for that. Certainly you got it for yourself, which is good. But trucking, the pay relative to the education necessary is very good. It's very good. Oh, let's see what I get over here. Oh, what about this cat? Oh, I had that cat there. Oh, Bridgie. I haven't seen Bridgie in a while. I have to go visit her again. Bridget. And don't forget about our sponsor this week. Levitt's Furniture is up this week. You're going to love it at Levitt's. You'll love it at Levitt's. Levitt's Furniture. I'm sure there's a furniture store near you. Levitt's Furniture sponsors the show this week. You'll love it at Levitt's. A company's advertising by my house, run local, but you get a sleeper to drive. I think they might say, oh, sorry, we can't get you home today. Sleep in the truck. Jason, I've seen this. I see these ads too, and I'm thinking, why do these companies do this? I totally agree with you, and I've thought of that. I'll see an ad local, so I click on it. I look at ads every day. And then they have a picture of a sleeper truck. And I'm like, why would you put that in your ad when you're saying home every day? I would think, oh, I bet you're probably not home. Or they're like, oh, don't worry, just sit there. You have out of hours. You can come home tomorrow or whatever. No way, right? They ought to run a day cab picture in their ads. I see this for a lot of places. Kelter Rooster Travels, my end goal is to be an owner-operator. Almost live in the truck, then take off 2 months at a time. Got to have a dream. Yeah, absolutely. Look, you can do that too if you want to do it. Whatever you want to do, you can do if you just put your mind to it. 40-hour week allows you to have more time at home and enjoy life, or invest your time in a side business, Mr. Crowley. That's correct. Putting all your time in at work is never great. James Davis, I have multiple felonies and never graduated or received my GED. Still made $80,000 last year. Right. And so really, for that, you'd probably have a tough time doing that at any other company. I mean, you'd have to go start your own business or something probably, to have felonies and work yourself up to 80,000. I think that's great. And you can always get your GED if you want to, but you see, you may not even need to. 3 bunks for 4 people and 2 trainers. Marty, be like a submarine, right? Where you're just hot seating the bunks. Okay. I'm surprised they don't have people do that, by the way. Ooh, it's so warm in here because the last guy was sleeping in there. ISH Dolo. Thank you very much, by the way. What do you think about line haul and food service transportation? Yeah, I see Cisco advertised all the time. Heard they pay well and great benefits. Yes, Cisco is running an ad in Indianapolis for $75,000. Okay, and so that's good pay. But they work hard. Cisco unloads trucks. So that's when you see a trailer, a reefer that's got 6 side doors on it or whatever, you're in for some work. So yeah, it works. But then there are people on here that do unload their trailer and love it because it keeps them in shape or whatever. Because let's be honest, trucking is not the best to stay in shape with. So it keeps you moving and everything. Yeah, if you can do the work, absolutely. I mean, people always got to eat. So there's never going to be an end to that. It makes me nervous because, I'll come home and see somebody unloading at a fast food restaurant that's closed. And I thought, oh, that's got to be a little nerve-wracking. Oh, let's see here. They were testing a self-driving truck down in Texas, and driver went to sleep and drove it past an inspection station. The driver got the ticket. Oh, that's great because they're not self-driving yet. They still have to have a safety driver in the truck. And so because of that, that person is responsible for the truck still, legally. So they're still driving them, but they have a driver in them. And that person is legally the driver. There's a team. Misty, over the road should pay $100,000 plus per year. Absolutely. I think that should pay $100,000. Then you're way above a local driver, pretty much. Although there's some local drivers making good money too. So $100,000, and then you're making a good living. I think that's not a bad living. Joan Harper, where do you work? It's good that I don't get asked that too often, which is good. I keep them out of my videos, my company, and that way they don't say stuff to you. Like, did you notice Prime? Every Prime video got deleted. Prime said something to all their people, so keeps them out of there. And I just don't recruit for them. Although I think you should if you like your company. You don't need a PhD to do this at midlife. Exactly. It isn't that complicated. And, if you're a reasonable person, even if you don't have a GED or whatever, you can be a truck driver. If you have felonies and are watching this, you could be a truck driver. You can. Okay, now it depends on the felonies. All right, let's put it that way. If you dismembered your last 3 dispatchers and went to jail for it, that might be a problem. But just a regular, if there's a regular felony, you can be a driver and change your life. Look, we have this person up here making $80,000 with felonies. All right, that's life-changing money. That's almost double the average pay of the average American out there. So absolutely, you can do that. Absolutely, I think trucking's a great way to get out of there, get out of the joint, as we called it, and change your life. The joint. Do they still say that? That is great, James Davis. Live the hard times behind you. Yeah, we change your life. That's what it's about. And I'm all for it. And I say after 10 years, your felonies should be erased. That's my opinion. That's how you get somebody who's changed their life to actually get their life changed. What's up from Jared from Decatur, Alabama? Have a good weekend. All right. Yeah, absolutely I did. You need a PhD in BS. Yeah, just to listen to what the dispatch has to say to you. That's the only way to do it. What's the industry average? Probably 50s. I just read some about that. It's like 49.50 cents, they say, is the industry average. But most experienced drivers probably get more than that. Sleeper trucks just aren't that much any more expensive. Cheeseman has many home daily driving sleeper trucks, midlife trucker. I just think that just in the ad, it makes you think, at least for a second, oh, okay, I'm going to have to sleep in this truck. Now, I ran a sleeper here for a while and was home every day in it. But if I saw it in an ad, I'm like, I wonder if you're really home every day. I'd put in an ad, at least, I'd put a day cab. Jason owns his own truck and takes off December through February every year. So it's possible. It's like 3 years experience at Cisco. Did I see an ad? I'll have to look that ad up. I thought it said we'll train people with, at least in Indianapolis. I'll have to look up the ad again. I saw a billboard for U.S. Foods in Nashville, Tennessee. They're offering 15 sign-on bonus paid out over the first year. Cash is King Trucking. Wow. Can you imagine that? Oh, it's over $1,000 a month for a year just to sign on. But that's hard work, so you got to be ready to work. Misty, you should work to live and not live to work. Too many over-the-road companies expect a driver to do the latter. Yeah, they think you're just there for them. Make your work something that you do so that you can do other things, the things that you enjoy doing. Because that's why they call it work, right? Nobody really likes doing it. So, checking in... Texas trader checking late from Houston. Finally passed my CDL exam this morning. I'm a legal listener. That's awesome. That is pretty good. Now, what are we going to do next? Didn't all the Cisco drivers get laid off when the restaurant shut down? James Davis? No, they didn't shut down. They were serving food like crazy. Just through the drive-thru. At least here, they didn't shut down here. The restaurants never closed. You're living my dream, Jason. Exactly. Well, that can be your dream too. I put all my time in work and I still have time to write philosophy and run a competitive video game clan. Oh, all while driving 10 hours a day. That's awesome. A competitive video game clan. Adam went home time in Fort Worth this weekend for NASCAR. You should be incredibly jealous. I'm jealous. I like NASCAR when they actually did the cars that you could go buy. Jimmy Weeks. If you fail a pre-employment drug test, does a driver have to do the SAP RTD process? How do you check if a hold has been put on your CDL? Well, the next company will let you know because they'll check that. You can also query, you can go look at your own thing on the, I can't think of the name of it, the drug testing site, name has escaped me, which 10 people are going to put up here. But you can go look yourself up on there and see if you failed a pre-employment drug test. But you know if you failed the pre-employment drug test, certainly, because they told you. And then, you've got to go take our return to duty process, which I get to say duty, and that's going to be put a kibosh on some companies hiring you. If you wear it always, make it a parrot, absolutely. It's holding me up. That rings better there. It's Mr. Plows here. Hello. I put up my six-figure trucker 5th month video. Midlife trucker, that's awesome. People should go look at it. If you get felonies, you can be a truck driver away from me. Well, no, look, not everybody, I'm big on redemption of people and stuff, and I think that people, have a felony. Some are really old and some aren't, but people can get out. If they get out of jail, not everybody is, like that. So, no problem. I'm all for people redeeming themselves and making themselves a better life. A Schneider probably would get a patch for beats. I bet there's a patch at Schneider that goes on their jackets full of patches. Walking around for that. PhD in driving. Misty, companies like Cisco, U.S. Foods I work for, and who you work for pay well, but you do unload yourself. Right. Also to jockey 40 and 53-foot trailers in parking lots full of cars they can't drive. That's, you probably are a better driver than a lot of road drivers because of that. All your experience backing around there, it's got to be very nerving. But so they only hire someone that can do it. Cisco will train. I live right next to one. I thought so. I thought the Cisco in Indy, I saw the ad. I'll have to look at it to make sure. Cheeseman is a $3,000 bonus paid out over 9 months. That's, look, any money. I never say quit for a sign-on bonus, but any money they give you, you should take. Joan Harper, I got that Google phone number you suggested. Google Voice. I called my mother, who had my regular phone number blocked. She's surprised to hear my voice on the other end. Nice. Nice. I certainly don't want to know why that is, but yeah. Google Voice. Anybody that wants a phone number, if you want to call companies or see about something, you can just literally Google up Google Voice and you can get a phone number. Levitt's Furniture used to be in Hillside next to the trucking companies. Yes, there was a Levitt's in Lansing, Illinois I used to go to. Kelter Travel, congratulations. The Clearinghouse, right. You can go to the DOT Clearinghouse, Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse, and look yourself up and see what it says. You can always look yourself up there. John Harper. You can also go to Publishers Clearinghouse and look yourself up. My company has a lot of guys that do out and back than home for 34. I personally go home once a month, but they make it my choice and I like it. Well, true. And actually, Sam, right, it's your choice, of course. So if you want to do it and it works for you, absolutely. Right. That's why trucking has all these different things to do. I'm personally, after some years of doing it, want to be paid for my time personally. So, but people that are gone that may have some other goal, like they don't have a home or whatever, that's perfect for them. It works out good. Cash King Truck, I didn't know you could query yourself. It's going to be a weird position thought, I guess, right? Exactly. Go query yourself. That should be a shirt. There's some of that at the manhole, too. So, Midlife Trucker, that ex-murder back in 72. Yeah, that might be a problem. That could be a problem on there. Oh, really? And also, you go to the clearinghouse, you look for that gigantic check that Ed McMahon is holding up there at when you get on the clearinghouse. But here's the thing. If you failed a pre-employment drug test, they told you failed the drug test. That's how you know. Because to fail it, I think, I've never failed one, but isn't the deal if you fail it, the medical examiner, the medical review officer is supposed to call you and say, hey, you got to fail. What's the deal? And they're supposed to find out whether or not you failed it. Like, is there a reason why you'd be positive for 12 different kinds of drugs or whatever? Do you have prescriptions for it? And then you fail it. So you've probably talked to a medical review officer and know the story. That return to duty, not everybody will hire you when you come back from that. So that's a problem. Depends on the felony. A child rapist shouldn't be able to get the felony removed, then get a job as an elementary school teacher. That's true, right? That's true. But a lot of people commit felonies. They're 18, 19 or whatever. And something that's a felony, then whatever it is, they have 3 joints or whatever. It gets them a felony. When they're 50, that felony still follows them around. That's not right. They've done nothing in all those years. They did some stupid thing, and they maybe even went to jail or whatever, did time for it. But when you're 50, 60, that felony's still on your record. That isn't right to do to people. That's not right to do. Someone that has done nothing like that to anyone else shouldn't be punished their whole life. That holds people up their whole life, and it almost makes people go back to jail because they can't go improve themselves. And something like that can't be held against people for their whole life. Some things I agree, right? But stuff like that, no way. No way. Clear that off of their record. They've cleared themselves. Let's clear them up. I use Google Voice for business calls and texts. Yeah, it's private. You want to call Pam or something and give them grief, get a Google Voice number. And then cancel it right after that. Yeah. It was an everything bagel, I swear. You got to explain it to the medical review officer, and then they're supposed to make the determination on whether you lose your career or not. So be careful about it. Write everything down. That driver, there was just another driver, right, that had this on their physical as well. I was reading about it that didn't write that stuff down. I'm telling you, please do not try to scam the physical. If something happens, it's a felony. They consider it falsifying a federal document. Whatever you're on, write it down. Your physical, write it down. Do not scam that kind of thing. How does over-the-road function for towing? Chef Man, I don't know. Do you mean to be towed or to be a tow truck driver? Never really thought about doing that. Joan Harper, I would love to go over the road, but I can't. I love to travel. It's nice to go see the country over the road if you can do it. I recommend it certainly for young people that are not otherwise attached, don't have 9 kids already. If you're 21, go over the road. Get a job where you're gone, where they run all 48 states. Just travel the country. Go see everything. Go see the exits to everything. I've seen the exit to every kind of national park, every kind of scenic attraction. I even saw the Thing. Okay, not most people don't get to see that. So, but there's lots of stuff to see the exits for. I saw Zizek's Road exit. I mean, who's seen that? Everybody gets to go around, sees that, but not everybody in the country sees these kind of things. Go on the road and live on the road for 5 years and save your money. Absolutely. Will people do it? No. Was I going to do it? I was. I didn't do it. My street pharmacy gave me the RX. Yeah, the guy with the suitcase selling the Rodex watches, who I've met in Chicago before. Who will hire Derek Chauvin? Oh, see, you may not get hired if you're in the news. That's another problem. So you may want to stay out of the news. So, look, someone like that, you can get a job. Okay, he'll get a job. But staying out of the news, that's another thing. Companies don't like it. That's why Prime, I think, with no proof, went and told all the drivers, hey, these videos, you can't post this, you can't post this, you can't post this. Because a bunch of videos from Prime came down within a few days' time. A lot of videos. They must have put something out. It has to be. It has to be. That's why I encourage everybody to kind of keep their company out of the videos, because they're going to be saying, look, if you're speaking for us, we don't want you putting that stuff up there. Or even if they're, in it, they don't want you up there. So just keep them out of it. Peeing in public can get you on the sex offender registry. I guess. Depends where you're doing it. Don't do it on a police officer's shoe. Yeah, and trying to stay off of that registry. But something you do when you're 18, 19, why should that follow you your whole life? That's the only thing you do. You're like, oh, I'm an idiot, right? And you do your time or whatever. Then when you're 35, 45, they look that up. Oh, felon. And immediately people think, oh, this person's a felon. There's different levels of felony, right? John Gacy, okay, and somebody that's got an ounce of something, when they're 18 is two different things, I think. So I want to give people the benefit of clearing that record later when they've shown that they're going to clear that record. Let's clear their record for them. Let's get people back working. It's when you got a baby mama in every state, midlife trucker. Yeah. Me from the chess club in high school, right? Getting a woman to talk to me is just something. People cross the street when they see me coming. So that likely not happening. Send your kids to Charles Manson daycare. They'll be made to feel like family. Also with John Gacy, if everybody remembers him from the Chicago area. Emperor Dion, I know people my age and younger, they definitely do not want to be truck drivers no matter what money. They can't even walk straight, let alone drive a semi. Well, it's not for everybody, right? That's certainly the case. Getting people to do it, it isn't for everybody. You got to love to drive. You got to like to be gone, even at work. And you have to be self-motivated. I think that's probably the most important part of driving. Self-motivation. Because you got to go to work. They tell you go across the country. You got to figure out how to do that yourself and get yourself up every day on time, go to work. Here, me, I come in, they're closed. Okay, they expect I'm going to come to work every day, do my job. They're closed when I come back. Okay, everything's got to be done. Self-motivation, and that's something that not a lot of people have. And that's why they don't ever get ahead of whatever they're doing. But absolutely, get that self-motivation, and anybody can do it. Anybody 21 can do it. Oh, Pigpen, goodness. Great show as always. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for that. To drive a tow truck independently or through silent partnership? I don't know. I don't know about that end of it. Driving the tow truck? Do you mean like a semi-tow truck? One of those big, gigantic ones? They're super expensive. I don't know if those places hire or how you'd even get into that. Now, Kelly, nowadays a medical review officer can simply look up and see if you have a prescription for whatever drug. How would they do that? Like we have CVS here as part of the prescription plan. Can they just look that up? I still think, though, because you put your number on there, don't they call you? Aren't they supposed to call you and talk to you and see the reason why? I think they have to do that. Why it is. You do your time and that should end it, Mark. Look, if you're back out and stayed good for a period, I'd say 10 years on a felony personally and 3 years on a misdemeanor. I would clear your record so that no one can see that anymore. So when you look it up, you can say, no, I've done nothing. Because there's no reason to hold somebody 40, 50, 60 years on something. It isn't right to do to people. One mistake literally ruins people's lives. I don't like it. Me, I'm all about law and order, but once people are back out, let's let them have the benefit. Cheeseman hasn't minded my videos yet, probably because I've recruited a few drivers, midlife trucker. That's true. Look, that's true. And depending on how you do your videos and stuff, your company might not mind it. But look, if you go out and talk about some other thing in the industry or whatever that they don't like, a company can say, look, because we're in the video, we don't like this. And so I don't want to get into that kind of thing with a company. I just leave them out of it. Then I can say whatever I want. And they have no say in it because they're never in it. That's the thing of it. Nomad trucker, I spent my first 2 years married to the truck. Banked every dime, bought my first truck, and never looked back. See, you did what most people probably should do, and you actually did it. So it's just persistence, right? Success is just simply persistence and, doing stuff over time like that. He was just clowning around. Nice. Another person from the Chicago area. Italian beef, swear, fries, drink, and Surprise, Arizona. Really? You found a place way out there for that? Is that better than Zell's out here? I do the 10-hour turn and burn, run hard, get paid for 34-hour resets. That's the way to do it, right? Get paid for your time. That's all I'm asking of companies. That's all I'm asking of Millis. Emperor Dion, Mark, truckers are older crowd. That's true. The average truck driver is like 50 years old. And you guys got a certain drive that really is absent in my generation. We're screwed when boomers and Gen X dies. Well, I don't know. I don't know about those older people out here that I heard. There's some of them are 50 years old or more. Yikes. But that's the average driver. And I don't know, as you get older, people may have a drive. It's a certain person that's got to be able to get themselves up. Can you get up every day with nobody holding your hand and going across the country without the company having to do stuff for you, and you'll be successful? Or go do your 20 stops in 3 days without them calling. Did you do your next stop? Did you do your next stop? Right? People that can do that are super successful in driving. I think those hourly driving jobs are for a wrecker service. I would hope it's hourly, where you sit there trying to pick something up. I think the drivers are hourly, yes. John, even GP Transco. Great mechanics are more rare than diamonds. They're hard to find. Circumcisions are free at the Wednesdays at the manhole. Yes. Also bring a friend day. It's also bring a friend day. Chef Matt, especially in the afternoon there. 3-axle 45-ton fixed boom wrecker with an underfit. Oh my gosh, how much would that thing cost? I used to drive a medium-duty wrecker, and I would do long hauls every now and again, but I just get paid by the hour with overtime. I've seen some of these wreckers, they have a sleeper on them. I talked to a guy years ago. He's like, oh, yeah, some companies need a truck delivered across the country or whatever. I'm like, really? Yep. And so he does it. Adam, when they call you, I have an Adderall prescription, so the MRL calls every time I do a test. Yeah, I think they have to, right? And then you can explain, look, I have this prescription, right? And then it's cleared because it's a legit thing. So, yeah. John Harper, Mr. P is hiring there in the Louisville area for a trainer for the trucking school. They want 7 years experience. Wow. Trainer that's more than any trainer has at England. I wonder what that pays. Trucking school never pays much. Whenever you look into it, they just don't pay a lot. They want a 7-year person to train. Ooh, that better pay well in the 20s. Back when I drove wrecker service was considered emergency, so they did not have to run a logbook. Plus, yeah, right. I don't even think over the road if they probably get exempted from that. Millis is good as a starter company, but because of the bonus system, you make horrible pay on the weeks you go home. That's the problem. And their bonus, what they're changing July 1st, is going to be an even bigger problem. So they encourage you to stay out, right? They're like, oh, well, we want you to stay out. Well, and what does 72% of drivers say? They want better home time, not pay. 44% of drivers would like better pay, but 72% of drivers that were looking for jobs want better home time. And Millis is on the other side of it, as a lot of companies are. They're raising the pay rather than asking drivers what they want, which is better time at home, which companies could do by simply utilizing drop yards and stuff around the country. I think they could get more people home more often by relaying the loads, but that gets aggravating on the road when you don't get these long loads. It depends. I guess it depends what you want. I never liked being back because you would always get cut off on Thursday or Friday to get back home. And so you're like, 1,800 miles on the road is not great when the load went all the way across the country. So I think on the road, you need to stay out to make a little bit of money at least. Otherwise, Monday through Friday, you're really running those days where I like a more relaxed, longer, 2,500 mile load rather than 500 mile loads. I'd rather have that all in one load. But that's just me. That's why there's trucking for everybody and not just me, really. I will say that if you wear it, you should always make it a parrot. Please wear a headset. I didn't hear about anybody this week, but there always are people out there doing that kind of stuff. GP Transco was here today, and you looking for a place to go? 60 cents, 90 grand? 90 grand. Unbelievable anymore, really. Boy, I wish that was going on then. Give them a call, right? No one's written to me that doesn't like the place, so that is pretty interesting. Also, Cash is King Trucking was here today, and I appreciate that. Let's get on over there and watch all of his videos and his other channel, Trucking with Diabetes. It's a sweet channel. Oh, yeah. Don't forget about Jay at Auto Transport Intel. I don't know anything about hauling cars, but Jay does. Okay, and so he knows everything about it. This show today was sponsored by Levitt's Furniture. You'll love it at Levitt's. You're going to love it at Levitt's. Who remembers Levitt's Furniture? And but I'm going to head on out of here. Today, let's see, what are we doing here? So, where did I go off to? Oh. When I was in the Army, I failed a drug test, but it was the day after I had a tooth extraction. Well, see, so that shouldn't be a fail. That shouldn't be a fail. Bye-bye, like on the McLaughlin Group. Wow. PBS coming back up. Or I still watch Motor Week. 1980s International for 20 grand. Holy mackerel. Of course, pre-DEF. Zizix exit is blocked a quarter mile off the exit. Mad Geek and Baker. Why not? I've seen a video where somebody went all the way down to the resort or whatever, which is a couple miles down there. I thought you could get all the way down to it. My company doctor completed the form if they neglected to list the medication. You're responsible for their errors. Oh, yikes. But they still need to call you, though. And so you can figure out, that's why they call you, right? Getting paid for stops helps, too. Exactly. Everything should be paid. Everything you do, all your time that they're taking needs to be paid. That's how I think it works. The great freight sage logic. Hey, what's going on? Joan Harper, good morning. Christina, thank you for your interest in the Parnell Commercial Driving School on our open CDL instructor positions. We offer a 4-week, 160-hour training course. Ugh. Live every 10 minutes. I know. He's live all the time. How do I get my channel featured up top? Your channel. Send me your channel information. Jeffersonville 47130 teaches students the fundamentals on how to be a safe professional driver. Do you have 7 years experience? Oh, tell them yes and see what they pay. Especially if it's a Google voice number, you can make stuff up, and then when you call them later, you don't have to be, it's interesting to get information out of companies that way, really. Let's see. Today, our first was Eddie McFadden, which I appreciate, and then closely followed by Misty. Thank you for being here. Joan Harper was here today, and Kel Tarusu Travels, which I appreciate. Let's see. Oh, Cash is King Trucking. Goodness, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Please, everybody, visit the channel over there. There's a bunch of great information. The great Freight Sage Logic was here today. Midlife Trucker Tom Bell, I appreciate it. Paul Harris was here. Roger Penske was here today. Oh, and Chef Matt cooking it up. George Wilson with the knife, by the way, Chef Matt. Yikes, George Wilson. It's good to see you. Kelly with the knives, right? Kelly was here today. Creature 937. I forget. I guess once you get in your extreme upper 30s, it's hard to keep everything straight, for sure. Zlay Black. Love it. Good to see you. Emperor Dion. If I'm ever wrong on somebody's name, please tell me. I'm not trying to mispronounce anyone's name. Believe me, Nomad Trucker, it's good to see you here today. Where am I here today? Oh, Adam Wayne was here today. As I go up the list here, Trucking Journeys was here with a ton of stops. Cash is King Trucking would enjoy 20 stops a week, probably. Texas Trader was here. And UFOs, no joke. All right, so let's see where that goes off to. It's Mr. Plow was here, and I'm going to get out of here as I have to get off to work. So we'll see what they're doing. James Davis and Mr. Crowley. They're going to, of course, gripe about stuff. Not really, but I do have to get in on time, as usual. More coming up this week. Hopefully I won't be back as late. I wanted to get a video out and then didn't get up till like 2 in the afternoon, so that wasn't great. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next show. Be safe out there, everybody, and keep that air running, all right? And we'll see you soon.